All right. We are live now, and hello, fellow viewers, and welcome to yet another stream. This time it's a pretty spontaneous stream. I wanted to make up for the fact that I could not, I will not be able to stream this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. And I thought to myself, wait, we could do a Friday stream. That would be possible. And why not try getting Feebas? So you can already see I am at a very specific tile here on Route 119. And that is where, at least on this save file, that's one of my Feebas tiles. So the way it works is actually getting Feebas in this game is pretty hard. It only appears on certain tiles on Route 119, so only this river and only on certain tiles. And usually these tiles, they always change per day, but seeing as the battery has run dry and of this copy of Ruby, and that means that no real time elapses, the tiles stay the same forever. Unless you do the trade statistics thing, then they get mixed up again. But yeah, that is what happened on my Emerald. I knew where it was, and I have to find it again because I did the trainer statistics trade thing. Not as much of a problem. I can still do that today on Ruby. I know that the Feebas is here. This is the exact tile that I need to use. Alright, so for encounter type in your Pokéfinder program, with encounter type you either use Old Rod, Good Rod or Super Rod, although I would suggest using the Super Rod because that means you only get Carvanhas or Feebas. With Good Rod and Old Rod you get others like, if I'm not mistaken, Tentacool and Magikarp, which would also be fun getting as a shiny. I'll use different rods during today's stream. Right, I think I'll start with the Super Rod and scroll down on location to Route 119. As you can see with Pokemon, it only shows Carvanhas, but no worries, there is no Feebas in the slots here because of the way Feebas is a exception, how it gets spawned, so you shouldn't be worried that you will not get a Feebas and only Carvanhas. That is not what's going to happen. Hopefully I can prove this live today, so let's see how that goes. Genderless, I mean no. You want a shiny, and the delay for fishing is one frame. That's it. Click generate. Okay, so I got one on Adamant, which is very early. We can try, but later I will try getting a timid one, because the thing is with Adamant. Maybe I'll explain all of these things while the timer goes down. That would be more efficient. Right, so let's go for the 7655, that frame. Let's go for that first, and I'll explain the rest. There we go. Alright, so the way it works in Generation 3, Feebas can only be evolved when you feed it Pokeblocks, so that the beauty stat, which is one of the many contest stat, the beauty stat needs to be maxed out. And the thing is, it's not that hard, but, and here's the but, Pokemon like or dislike different flavors of Pokeblocks based on their nature, and it just happens to be that Adamant natured Feebas will not like the Pokeblocks that mainly give beauty. So that could be a problem. So having a adamant Feebas isn't really the best thing. I know, theoretically speaking, if I wanted to use him in competitive, which I do want, timid isn't the best nature for a Milotic or Milotic, however you want to pronounce it either. That would be bold, but I can only get the natures that the program shows here, since the game cannot calculate new PIDs, cannot generate new ones, since the battery has run dry. That's what we're abusing when we do this. If the battery has run dry on Sapphire and Emerald, then your seed is always going to be 5A0 in hexadecimal numbers. In Emerald's always 0, but Emerald's RNG is even more broken than the one in Ruby and Sapphire. But yeah, that's what we're exploiting here, basically. The fact that we know in advance which frame will give us what. So I have to play the cards that I'm handed. Can't make up new ones. Alright, so here you see the proof that Feebas does come or spawn on this tile. Not a shiny one, missed the frame maybe, but I mean, not maybe, I definitely did miss the frame, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Let's hope for several shiny Feebas. In French it's Barpeau, which is actually, I checked that today, a very clever word pun. Ah, that did not register. And yeah, it uses trompette, which is, I mean, you probably know what move that is. I'll give you a hint, it's the move that Magikarp is known to use, which is completely useless. It's Splash, for those of you who haven't figured it out. Completely useless move, doesn't do anything. Just a funny time waste. Oh, one thing here, which is pretty annoying. So, in French only, canne is a rod, a fishing rod. And the super canne is not a super rod, that would be mega canne. So that, I know that I had some problems with that. That did confuse me in the past. So, should you play this in French, maybe? That's one thing that is sometimes really annoying if you play games in different languages. Sometimes the translations can be different and they can get confusing, because one thing is like Ultra Balls, for example. A Ultra Ball in the German games is not the yellow and black ball that many of you have used for decades at this point, but we call it Hyperball, so Hyperball. That's also supposed to be the original Japanese name. It has an H on the back, or on the top. If you view the Ultra Ball from above, you'll see an H, stands for Hyper. Makes sense, because then you have the Pokeball in German, then you have the Super Ball, and then the Hyperball. So normal, standard, super, hyper. That makes sense. And Ultra Ball in German is actually the Beast Ball. So that is also one of these things that you can't interchangeably use with other Pokemon fans from other that speak other languages. It can get really confusing. Interesting fact. Let's see what I got. Good luck, thank you, darling. Not a Feebas, but not a shiny one, so I'm gonna catch it in a at least the timid one I'm gonna catch in a luxury ball. That makes for a good just makes for something good. To be fair, I could change this Good Rod if I go to Good Rod and go to Route 119. I could get others as well, but and the level changes, so we can try that as well. It doesn't matter in terms of Feebas. Feebas will come, that is for sure, that is guaranteed. But I could still hit the shiny frame and the game decides to not spawn a Feebas, but instead spawn a Magikarp, or that would be encounter slot 0, or a Tentacool, that would be encounter slot 1, or Carvanhas, that would be encounter slot 2. Well, in this case, that would be a shiny Magikarp if I don't get the Feebas. It will be a level 15 Magikarp, which is adamant and shiny and actually has really good stats, so if you evolve it into Gyarados, that would be a competitively viable one. But yeah, it doesn't really matter which rod you use, but I prefer using the Super Rod. I just wanted to show that it works either way, because some of you might do this in the future as well, and there's always things that you would like to know in advance, right? So let's see, 10 seconds left, 10 seconds remaining. Let's see, did I hit it correctly? No, I mean, you can see I used the good rod and I still got a Feebas, so that should explain all of these doubts. The reason why the delay is 1 is because the game just uses one single frame from the moment you press A. It only uses one frame to generate the Pokemon, so the delay is only 1. Sometimes you get delays that are in the a few hundreds of frames, and sometimes some delays are a single digit. It really depends. It can also vary between the fact if you are playing on Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald. I mean, Ruby and Sapphire have the same delays for the same Pokemon. Emerald sometimes has different delays, so do keep that in mind. Usually you can look up tables online for, you can usually find them very quickly. If not, and you're not sure, you can always ask me. I'm more than happy to help in this case. For example, when I did the, back then was last year, the shiny Lugia RNG hunt, I used the wrong delay, or it turns out the delay that I found online wasn't the correct one, and when I used the correct delay, I got it. So would have taken less time if I knew the correct delay in advance, but oh well, things go like that sometimes. And I know that there are more frames after the timid one, but that is too long of a wait time. Let's see what I got. That's a Carvanhas. Not a shiny one either. So for the first hour, I think I'm gonna do this frame, and later I'm gonna do this one. The second one is unfortunately about 5 minutes wait. That's about the longest I'm willing to wait. Five minutes is alright. I mean, with my Emerald cartridge, it's about 4 minutes. That's still okay, but anything that lasts longer than 5 minutes, I would suggest either using the video battle method in Emerald to skip frames, or if you're using or playing Fire Red and Leaf Green, the TGTV, so you can skip those. Here you can use the painting method, but I don't have a painting here in this on this save file, so can't use it if I don't have it. Maybe I should try doing that, but for the streams I still wanted to do the standard method. I don't really care too much getting good IVs in Generation 3. I mean, yeah, it's good to have them, but if you RNG manipulate in the 4th generation, then that would be much easier getting good IVs in that game. So that is a future project that I also want to stream RNG manipulation on in Generation 4 and 5. And yeah, later there's also the fact that you can bottle cap. So I don't feel like I need to do the TGTV or the painting method or the battle video method. Not to say that I'm never gonna do it, probably will try it a couple of times, but just think that later I can still bottle cap them when I transfer them up, so don't really see the need right now. Let's see what I got now. That's a Feebas, but it's not a shiny one. The shiny is purple, really nice one. So the Feebas that I'm getting here the shinies will be male. In my Emerald, I tend to get the early shinies tend all to be female. That depends again on the trainer ID and secret ID combination, and the fact that the battery has run dry, so it can only generate very specific frames and very specific PIDs, personality IDs. So this, and this is what determines what if it's shiny or not, what kind of shiny should you transfer it up to Generation 8, where there's not only star shinies, there's also square shinies. Also determines what nature it has, what ability. So if it says ability 1, like here, like it does here, that means that it will get the second ability, and not the... I mean, remember that IT guys, computer scientists, programmers they start counting by 0, not by 1. Aubrey says, hello, welcome to the stream, Aubrey. How have you been? Don't remember if I've seen you on my streams before, but you're more than welcome. And let's hope that you got to see a shiny Feebas today. Wonder how many I can get. Too bad the ones that the first one, I mean, wouldn't really be ideal to evolve since it's adamant, so it's not gonna like the dry Pokeblocks, the blue ones that give you beauty. Doing alright, you? Yeah, actually, so far this year has been pretty good to me. And today has been a good day in general. So yeah. Hopefully it will end good as well. Yeah, if you wanna do RNG manipulation and you use the fishing rod, you have to press A until a certain text box appears. In French, it's un Pokémon a mordu à l'hameçon, so a Pokemon bit your the hook. Hameçon is a hook the hook of the fishing mod, obviously. And you don't need to press anything after that, you just leave it be. The Pokemon will not be generated now. It will be generated once 1 frame after I press A, which is why I use 1 as a delay. Yeah, so yeah, that Adamant 1, I mean, if I get a Carvanha, that would be good. I got a shiny Sharpedo, I mean, maybe multiple ones, not sure. Since with RNG manipulations you can get so many shinies in a very, like, you wouldn't need to play the game for hours and hours on end. You get more shinies within a shorter time frame, obviously, because you can time them. You just need to time them. They're not really random here, so if you would ask what are the odds here, there's no odds in that regard. Because this isn't the battery doesn't work, so there's no odds. I always know that a shiny will appear on this frame, or this frame, or this frame, or this frame. So it's just the question of me hitting the frames correctly. Just like with Wild Wednesday, and that is a Feebas. Don't see how people say this is ugly. I think it's cute, but that's just me. So, as I said before, the PID basically, it's the DNA of the Pokemon, and every single shiny that I get on this frame will always be adamant and will always be male in certain, it depends on the gender ratio. That's just the way the game calculates it. You can get secret ID and trainer ID combinations that always give you females for any of these options. Although I haven't, except obviously for the genderless and the 100% male category. But that is why you could maybe check before what trainer ID and secret ID combination you want. This one gives me adamant ones with 3 perfect IVs, so that's a very good one, but for the Sapphire one, I don't want another one that gives me adamant natured one. My Emerald already does that, my this Ruby cartridge does, and like I already said and mentioned in the previous stream this Wednesday, when we doing Wild Wednesday, I have enough adamant shinies, and I prefer special attackers, so gonna try for a early, modest, or timid one with that one. Interesting, I've never seen this method before. Yeah, it is a very specific method. It's much more technical. You somewhat need to know how the game generates Pokemon. And you need some knowledge on TID and secret ID, but it's not very hard to understand. And there's so many good guides online on how to do it. Maybe I'll do a guide as well if people want me to. Let's see what I got. That's a normal Carvanha. Not a shiny one either. What a shame. It is a very reliable method as well, I might add. I mean, you can get a lot of shinies in a short amount of time if you time it correctly. There's no odds to be had. I just need to hit the frame correctly. Which is no super easy task, I might add. Because I need to be frame perfect. So I need to hit, when the timer hits 0, I need to be correct within 1/60th of a second. So that's barely any time, right? And I need to do that twice. The first countdown and the second countdown. And when I did it correctly twice, then the shiny will appear. And I mean, some people would say this is hacking. I would disagree. Hacking would imply me changing data of the cartridge, which I'm not doing. Not doing anything external here. The only external programs I use are, I mean, Pokéfinder and Eontimer, but they they don't change any data on the cartridge, so that's just basically a glorified calculator and timer that tells me when shinies are coming and how long I need to wait and when to press A. That's basically the gist of this all. I know that more and more people are doing it nowadays, which is really cool. Hopefully maybe I'll also inspire some people to do RNG manipulation hunts. I always wanted to maybe do live streams with shiny hunting, but the standard shiny hunting streams, there's already so many of them. And I wanted to do a user method that hasn't really been done a lot before online. Let's see. Again, that is a Feebas, but not a shiny one. Yeah, so when I use Super Rod, it should be level 27. Doesn't really change much in terms of moveset for Feebas. Feebas is like Magikarp, it doesn't really learn anything good until it evolves. And then it becomes one of the best Pokemon in the game. At least in Generation 3. One of the, if not the most balanced meta game that we ever had. Which is why I miss it. There's just so many Pokemon that are still viable in this generation. And for those asking, yes, these are transferable to Pokemon Bank and Home. And I might also mention that for any of the new viewers either watching right now or tuning in after the stream is done, if you either give me any money on either as a super thanks, should this get monetized, this channel, or you give me a buck, just one single buck, $1, €1, you have it, on either on Patreon or my Ko-fi or my Subscribestar, then you are eligible for, I'll clone any of the one shiny Pokemon that you want. Doesn't have to be shiny, could be any of my Pokemon that you see in the streams and videos and you say, hey, I want this one. I'll transfer it up for you, no problem, and I'll trade it to you. So keep that in mind if you maybe want one of these very rare shinies that I get. That's not a shiny. I think this is all very cool and I wish you the best of luck. I have to go to campus now. I just want to stop by for a bit. Yeah, I'm always happy for people just stopping by for a minute or so. So I'm really glad for that. Thank you for being part of the stream, Aubrey. And have fun on campus. Yeah, it depends on when people or where people are right now. I mean, I'm from Western Europe, so right now it's 8 PM for me, where I am at. So Friday evening. For some of my viewers, it's not Friday evening, obviously. So let's see who comes in as well later. To be fair, this was very spontaneous. I just... Oh well, the fish. I missed it. But doesn't matter, you just have to get this done before the timer hits 0, which is plenty of time. 2 minutes is not, that's plenty of time to do that. Especially when I go for the 18,000 frame later, that's gonna be 5 minutes. So, gonna do the early frames first. And hopefully I'll get a timid Feebas, because I need one. Sometimes you get unlucky though. Okay, just with 10 seconds shy of the timer hitting 0, I still got the text message, so that is good. Let's see if I hit it correctly. That's a Carvanhas, but it's not a shiny. Let's do it again. I've forgotten how many tiles have a Feebas. I know it's not just 1, but I've forgotten if it was 5 or 10 or another number. But it's really not a lot of tiles. You have hundreds of tiles of this river on Route 119, and only a couple are Feebas tiles. But you know me, I hate saying things on stream that might be wrong. There's already enough misinformation plaguing the internet. I don't need to be a contributing factor to that. Okay, so I just checked, and it appears to be that 6 tiles are... It's only 6 tiles that can spawn Feebas. And as I mentioned earlier, usually it shuffles them new every single day, but since this cartridge, the battery has run dry, so the game cannot calculate new days, or there's no time elapsing. It's effectively frozen in time. I mean, that is what we are abusing right now. That is the point of RNG manipulation, using dry battery in this case. With the DS games, you have other factors. You can change the DS time, so the time of the handheld, to get spreads that you want, and also the date. But here, that is then, in this case, this is makes it a bit easier because the tiles never change. Honestly, should I not get a Feebas or anything worthwhile here? Then I'm gonna do another Feebas Friday next Friday. If I don't get my timid Feebas, because I do want that timid Feebas, I can tell you that. I mean, I have 2 adamant ones, one from the emerald and one from the ruby one, but with my emerald, I need to recheck the tile again, because I did the trainer statistics trade, and that also shuffles the tiles, regardless if the battery has run dry or not. That's just a act that does that. But yeah, finding it can be a hassle. I know that this week a friend of mine texted me, and he asked me, oh my god, I was looking for Feebas for 3 hours now. This cannot be normal. And no, unfortunately, my dear friend, that is normal. It can be such a time-consuming task just trying to find the right tile, because there's hundreds of them, right? This is the whole river on Route 119. It's just that specific river, and it's only 6 tiles out of a couple of hundred. I don't know how many tiles it is exactly. I guess some Pokemon artist online has probably already calculated or counted them, and I love online artists who do that. yeah, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not making fun of autistic people. I'm one myself, so I know how. I am very well acquainted with the neurodivergent urge of categorizing and categorizing everything, every single knowledge, just displaying it for other people to know. Even if it's something very specific, like how many tiles does this river on Route 119 have? So I'm all for that. We need more people like that. It's helpful. Okay. Let's use the super con for now. Maybe I can change it up. Maybe we'll get a random unplanned shiny, like in Wild Wednesdays. That would be fun. Although I do hope that I get the Tibet Feebas. If I don't get it within the stream, I'll do it again next week. But before I say that it's gonna be definite, I'll just check something. Yeah, that would be possible. So next Friday, should I not get it this time, then just feeding or making that evolving that adamant shiny Feebas is just so annoying. Because it doesn't like the Pokeblocks I feed it. So yeah, I mean, I don't need to explain. It's just like in real life. Try feeding a kid something that the kid doesn't like. Hey there, Waffly. If that is the how you pronounce your name. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How does this work? ONG? I suppose you thought you wanted to type OMG. Well, RNG manipulation is... Oh, how do I shorten this down to a couple of sentences? Good question. It's not your standard shiny hunting, that's for sure. So what it is basically is, let's say Magikarp, normal Magikarp. What it is when you look here, the game tells me, I mean it is in French, but what it says is the battery has run dry. So the Pokemon games in Generation 3, so Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, they have an internal battery, and when that one runs dry, it cannot produce new it cannot produce new events anymore. Berries don't grow, time doesn't elapse, and that also means that when you know your trainer ID and your secret ID, which isn't shown in the game, that's why it's called secret ID. When you know that combination and you have a program like Pokéfinder, that's the one I'm using here. If you type that in, it tells you, it calculates when a shiny appears. So at frame 7655, which is me having to wait about 2 minutes, when I hit this frame with the countdown, that's what the timer is for, so I know when to time it correctly, I'll get a shiny level 27 Pokemon with which is always going to be adamant, and it's always going to be gonna have these IVs. So RNG manipulation is basically, RNG stands for random number generator, which is not entirely correct because it's not truly random, but that's a completely other topic. So it generates this certain numbers, and when you know how the algorithm works, you can deduce mathematically when everything will appear. So that means when I type that in and wait for a correct amount of time, I'll get a guaranteed shiny. I just need to get the timing correctly twice. And it's 1/60th of a second, which is somewhat tricky. But on my channel, I've done it multiple times. You can, I've gotten legendaries like that. So there are no odds to speak of. Like, there's no, I know I've been asked, what are the odds? There's no odds here. This is just me trying to get the timing correctly. That's it. Of course, you need to figure out your secret ID first. The game doesn't tell you that. A way to find that out is either when you have a childhood copy of these and you have a the battery has run dry. If you find a legit shiny just by walking around, like a random shiny, and you calculate its IVs and you get the PID, then you can mathematically deduce your secret ID. There's a lot of guides online that tell you how to do that. And the second way is like what I did with this. I might say that or mention that with my Emerald, my Pokemon Emerald save file, that is my childhood save file. I did not want to delete that one. That's just way too sentimental for me. I mean, that save file is older than my nephew and my niece, so that way I painstakingly looked for a shiny, found one, and did that. But with this Pokemon Ruby cartridge, when you delete the save file that's on it before and you RNG generate a certain trainer ID, secret ID combination, then you can start the game with a shiny starter if you know what you're doing, which is very cool. Yeah, it is cool, Waffly, you're completely right. You can get so many shinies, and the best thing, they are completely legit. You can transfer them up to Pokemon Home, no problem at all. And if you really want to get fancy, you might even get a trainer and secret ID combination to get square shinies. I think I'm gonna attempt that on, I have another, oh, sadly not a shiny. I have other cartridges. I have a Sapphire that I still haven't RNG'd yet, where the battery has run dry. I'm gonna do that on there as well. And then I have another Ruby, so a second Pokemon Ruby cartridge that also has the battery run dry. So on at least one of them, I'm gonna try getting square shinies. And yes, they show up as square shinies in the newer games. I have a shiny Typic in Pokemon Black 2. That's really cool. Especially I like the when it evolves, the blue flames. That looks really good. If I remember correctly, the pig is the best shiny out of the Generation 5 starters, at least in my opinion. And in Black 2, if I remember this correctly, you get a what was it again? If you complete the, was it the National Pokédex? The regional dex, you get a shiny, which is always going to be shiny. I think in White 2 it's a Dratini, and in Black 2 it's now I've forgotten the English name of the Pokemon, the Axe Dragon. Oh no, was it not a Gibble? Which is very unfortunate because shiny Dratini is just so beautiful, and the Gibble Garchomp is one of the most disappointing shinies ever, in my opinion. It's just slightly darker and less saturated. That's the worst kind of shiny. I prefer getting a puke green shiny rather than a shiny that barely changes. At least that's me. I don't like shinies that barely change. I don't think that's the point of having a shiny. And that is a Magikarp. Might also get a shiny Magikarp. I always wanted a shiny Dratini in Pokemon Go. Never got it. Is it not still available? Yeah, it's funny how it goes from pink to green. I mean, I prefer the pink, but that's just me. I have a unhealthy obsession with the color fuchsia, magenta, pink, all that hot pink. So obviously these shinies are going to be my favorite. But the green looks pretty good on Dragonite, I have to say. It's a cute shiny. Yeah. Almost looks like a I don't know if you guys know that, but there's like a cartoon dragon from Germany. It's called Tabaluga. He looks like that. The shiny Dragonite looks like Tabaluga. Shiny Feebas is also pretty nice. It's purple. And I mean Milotic or Milotic, however you pronounce it. I still have no idea how. I've heard both. With the golden highlights instead of the orange, that's pretty nice. And I mean, Feebas is one of the hardest ones to find in Generation 3 because of that tile BS. You really need to... It just takes more than an hour to find your tile. When you get lucky. When you get unlucky, like my friend, he looked for 3 hours and didn't find his tile. Let's see if this time I hit it correctly. No, unfortunately not. Welcome to the stream, Levi Averam. How are you doing? And no, I'm not German. I am Luxembourgish, which is the super small country next to Germany, if you look on the map. But I speak German. I'm fluent in German. I'm also fluent in French. That's why I have no problem playing the game in French. I've also played Fire Red in Italian. But yeah, I'm not German, but I speak German. One of the languages that I speak. It's funny when people guess my my accent. Sometimes they have very wild guesses, and sometimes can't tell if it's French or German. And then other times people ask me if I'm British, which I don't understand. At least I don't think I sound British at all. I even say some things more American English because back then when I learned English, the speech that I listened to tended to be more American, so I got accustomed to that instead of the British English, which sounds a bit different. You do? I do what? The accent? I mean, the accent is definitely there, I know, but it's not. German accent, German speaking English is a bit different. Oh, you thought I was British? Okay, so I guess it's a compliment regarding my fluency in English, then I guess. I take it as a compliment then, thank you. But no, I'm not British. Not a shiny. Some asked me if I was Russian, which I find interesting because I don't think my accent sounds Russian at all. Don't know where people get that. Jeez, until now, pretty unlucky. Usually I've gotten a shiny until now, but let's see how this goes. Shouldn't give up this early, and you should never give up. You can technically RNG manipulate in every single generation, also in the newer ones, but you need different programs and different methods. I think it's between Switzerland and Austria. Well, that wouldn't be too far off, since Luxembourg is also a nation just like Switzerland that has many languages represented within its borders. I mean, as a Luxembourger, you usually are a polyglot. A polyglot is someone who speaks multiple languages, so not bilingual. Bilingual is just 2 languages. Polyglot comes from poly, from the Greek word poly. That the same poly that you see in polygon. That's exactly the same root. So that means multiple languages that I speak, which isn't something special where I come from. So I speak Luxembourgish, that's my mother tongue. Then I learned German very quickly, they're very close. French is taught in our schools as well. And English is also taught in our high schools in Luxembourg. So that's already, when you finish high school, you know 4 languages, which isn't too bad, right? But I also went ahead and took some Japanese courses. I'm not fluent in Japanese, I wouldn't say that. I can read I can read all the hiragana and katakana, that's no problem, but saying that I can read all the kanji, that would not be true. There's like thousands of them and you have to memorize them all. That's pretty hard to learn. Japanese is the hardest language I try to learn, definitely. I'm also currently learning Italian. But yeah, wouldn't say that I am fluent in Japanese and Italian. That would be a lie. That's why on my channel it says simple Japanese and simple Italian. If you really want to know what level it is, my Japanese is A2 and my Italian as of now is A1. For any of you who want to know that Infinite Omniverse lore. But it's practical knowing many languages, especially if you travel in Europe. Very practical. Also, I have a easier time learning Italian now than some of the people that I go to class with there. It's like for adults, evening classes. Because I know French and I can derive so many words from French when I learn Italian. Because both Italian and French share the same family root, like they're Romanic languages. Just like Spanish and Portuguese, for example. So you have an easier time learning these languages if you already are fluent in one of the one language of the family tree. For example, I also want to learn I want to learn Dutch once in my life. And Dutch is a Germanic language, and my mother tongue is Luxembourgish, so that's a Germanic language. And I am fluent in German, so that would be much easier. It would come easier and more naturally to me because I already know 2 languages that are Germanic. Can only speak German and English fluent. Bist du Deutsch? Kann das sein? Also dann müsstest du mich ja jetzt verstehen, wenn ich jetzt so rede. Ist bestimmt merkwürdig, wenn du jetzt mich ich switch zu einer anderen Sprache, einfach so, als wäre es nix. Still no French people came to the chat. I have one viewer who speaks a bit French because he's from Canada, and they have a part like Quebec where they speak Quebecien. Ja, super. Darf ich wissen, ob es Deutsch ist oder Österreich, Switzerland, die Schweiz, oder kann ja auch Liechtenstein sein oder Luxemburg oder andere. Also deutschsprachige Leute gibt es ja viele in Europa. Musst nichts sagen, wenn du das nicht möchtest. Das respektiere ich, aber ich bin nur neugierig, so was meine Viewers so sprechen. Ja, Deutsch. Dann liebe Grüße aus Luxemburg. And it's fun. Although it's not like I'm bragging, because I know people who speak 10 languages fluently. That is much more than I am able to. I mean, right now I'm planning, as I said before. Right now I'm learning Italian again. My dad is Italian, and I have family in Italy, but unfortunately my dad never spoke Italian to me, so I never learned it, I never picked it up. And I'm doing that now, so that I can speak to my family properly. And after that, I'm gonna tackle Dutch. I think Dutch is gonna be the easiest. And after that, I would still not be done, honestly. I would like to also learn Spanish and Portuguese. And after that, I think I'd be good. Have to go. Ja, dann danke, Levi, dass du dabei warst, und vielleicht bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss und viel Spaß. Wonder if at one point maybe an Italian will come into the chat and I'll be able to use my Italian a bit. I mean, that is one thing that is easier with the Italian as opposed to the Japanese, because I don't have anyone I can speak Japanese to except my Japanese teacher. And I mean, I don't see her every single day in my life, so there's that. And someone else would be my husband, but we're at the same level and he's not a native speaker, so maybe we do mistakes and we don't even realize it since we're not native, right? And A1 is pretty low level, or A2, any A, right? Still no shiny. Very unlucky today. Need to hit the frame. Or we're gonna have another Feebas Friday then, I guess. Okay, again. Well, after learning Portuguese, Spanish, and that, how many languages would that be? Hang on. 1, Luxembourgish, German, that would be 2, which French, that's, so yeah, I know 5 that I'm fluent in. Then currently learn Japanese, okay, that's 6, Italian, that's 7. Dutch. Oh, that would be 10. So I would hit the 10 milestone. I think that would be more than enough. There's still other languages like Chinese, at least Cantonese or Mandarin, but I don't think I'll... That is ridiculously hard to learn as... I mean, with Italian, I can derive, like I said before, I can derive from French words. There's so many grammatical quirks where I'm really noticing in my Italian class who speaks French and who doesn't. And I think my husband and I, we are the only ones, because they have problems with, for example, an Italian says, if my name is Jana, mi chiamo Jana, so that means I'm called myself. Me is myself, my. Yeah, it doesn't really translate right, but the same quirkiness is in French. You say je m'appelle Jana, je m'appelle, so I call myself that. So I have no problem remembering that, because it's the same in French. Also, when I read Dutch, I can actually understand quite a bit, because, again, I can derive from German and Luxembourgish. Okay, that did not register. Do it again. I'm not saying that... Not saying that in a way of, haha, look at me, I know this and the others don't know. I mean, it's already a big honor going to a class like that. Evening class and learning a whole new language. That's already honorable in my mind, honestly. And I really don't like it when you learn a language and you're really keen on using it, and you go there and then they keep commenting on your accent and your pronunciation, and I'm like, I took my time, my valuable limited time, to learn a whole new language, which is something that, if I look around, especially, no offense, but in many English-speaking countries and also like countries in France, they don't really do that. They just know their own language, maybe a second one, and then that's it. And when they go and criticize you for having an accent, obviously I'm gonna have an accent. I mean, yeah, I mean, I even have not an accent in my native tongue. I have a southern accent. That is really funny to think about. Luxembourg, as tiny as it is, you still have local accents that are present, which is fascinating to think about, that even such a small space, such a small area still has that. I mean, it's not that we are indecipherable when I speak to a northern Luxembourger, right? But there's some words that I pronounce differently. Like the Luxembourgish word for cloud would be, I would say wolk, but from the north they would say wolk. Things like small things like that. So if you didn't know that, obviously you wouldn't, but if you would speak Luxembourgish with me and you would know it, then you would hear that I have a southern accent, because that's where I was raised, in the south of Luxembourg. So obviously I'm gonna have an accent. But I just don't see the point of people shaming accents or pronunciations. I think it's insane. It's useless. What's the point? They made an effort, didn't they? I wish more people made an effort to learn another language, right? Especially ones that like today. I mean, and I hope, I know that I already did that joke, and some French people really don't like it, and I never mean it in a bad way. I never mean to offend anyone, but there's a joke going around in Luxembourgish circles. It goes like this: how do you call someone who speaks multiple languages, a polyglot. How do you call someone who speaks 2 languages? Bilingual. And how do you call someone who only speaks 1? French. Yeah, you get the joke. Pour ceux entre vous qui sont français, désolé, c'est pas... oui, c'est comme ça un peu, mais ça dépend aussi des français, ça je sais. In case any of you are watching. Would be interesting, but... I mean, I do wonder right now, how weird is that for a American, like, listening in right now or watching this video later when the stream's done and they just witnessed me speaking multiple languages. That must be weird. But where I'm from, that is pretty normal or standard, so nothing to brag about. Okay, did I get it this time? No, why? Jeez. Already an hour in. I think I'll... no, I'll still go with that one. Just to... It's also good for your mental health. And that I know that might sound crazy, but it really is. Knowing multiple languages is good for your brain. It's stimulating, it keeps you alert, it keeps you... It's just like not mental gymnastics, if you say that word, that usually means something else. Something not so intelligent and smart, but... it's very good for you. It's good training for your brain. It's like a workout for your brain. I can only recommend it. You don't need to be fluent in anything. And I know there's like so many of you watching right now, watching later, that you never need another language in your life. Especially, I can imagine if you're in America and if you drive 4 hours south, then you're still in America, and if you drive 4 hours north, you're still in America. And in Europe, obviously, that's not always the case. I'm in Luxembourg. When I drive a couple of hours to the east, I'm in Germany. And when I drive up north, then I'll be in Belgium, and a bit later I'll be in the Netherlands. So that's already 2 countries that I can cross 2 borders within 2 hours, which has to be a bit weird for some of you. All the same goes for the south. When I drive towards the south, I cross the French border, and when I keep driving, depends on the where exactly, but I can pass Andorra, another micronation, or I'm in Spain. So obviously it's like for a person like me, it's more useful knowing multiple languages, because when I drive into any direction for a couple of hours, Luxembourgish is... I wouldn't really learn that language unless you would live here, because there's not even 1 million native speakers or speakers of the language worldwide. So we don't even have 1 million people in Luxembourg as of right now. So this stream was made on, or is being made right now as I speak, on the 1st of March 2024. Obviously, maybe in a couple of decades it's gonna be over 1 million. If the demographics trend continues, maybe something happens and it doesn't. Can't look into the future. I'm not a how do you call them? Fortune teller. So you never know, but already I can barely use my native tongue in Luxembourg. We also have a lot of border, workers who cross the border to come work here because our salaries are higher than in the other countries. And they don't speak Luxembourgish, usually don't. Can't blame them, it's a hard language to learn, even... excuse me, it's even for a German one, I mean, our grammar is even more complicated than the German grammar, and that one already is, well, not the easiest, I have to say. Not the hardest either, but funnily enough, the easiest grammar I've seen is Japanese, because it's the structure is almost always the same. Even though the language itself is really hard to learn, but the grammar is really easy. And with English, I also got some gripes with English. I really never like that. I don't like the pronunciation, how it's really not consistent. I still sometimes mispronounce things, like when I say bow when I meant bow, even though they are written identically. So in my mind, they should be pronounced identically, but they aren't. They just... That's my gripe that I have with English. It's just the pronunciation is very inconsistent. Things can be read in so many ways. I mean, okay, you memorize it and then usually it works, but would be better if it was more consistent. And I mean, still remember when someone criticized my accent, I'm like, I know 5 languages at least. You can't even write your own, so stop. Don't shame people for accents. Accents are going to happen. That's just natural. That's where German and French are much more, they are easier in terms of pronunciation consistency. But they have their own things, like French grammar is pretty complicated and has so many irregular verbs. How can you have so many irregular verbs? I think in Japanese, if I remember correctly, all the irregular verbs you can count down on one hand. So there's only 5. And that's it. And these 5 are commonly used, so you surely remember them. So the irregularity in that case doesn't throw you off as much as it does with French grammar, for example. Or just the verbs, learning verbs in la conjugaison des verbes français. That's just, oof, no one likes that. Okay. Getting impatient. I want my shiny Feebas. Or any shiny for that matter. I'll use this one, the good rod, super con in French, which again, just super confusing. It's not the super rod, it's the other rod. So you have 3 rods in this game. The old rod usually just gives you Magikarp. It's the worst one. And the super rod is the best one. Gives you rarer Pokemon, different kinds, different species, and usually higher level. I think I know what I'm gonna call the Milotic, or Feebas, should I get it? Then again, should I get it? That's the key phrase here. No, so far my regulars haven't turned up fully. They'll turn up later. let's see how this stream goes. Sometimes I get very unlucky the first couple of hours, and then later it starts showing. The shinies start appearing. No, last Wild Wednesday, for example, I didn't get as many shinies as I'd liked. But the week before, I just got over 10 shinies, 15 shinies. I stopped counting, but it was a lot. So let's see what this stream offers me. Let's see if this was correct input. No. Say Magikarp. Let's use the super rod again. You can get it with every rod, like I said before, but just changes the level. And with the super rod, you usually don't get the Tentacool and the or Tentacruel. It is the first. No, is it Tentacool or Tentacruel? Then again, it's weird when you play Pokemon in multiple languages. Sometimes I have the French name in my mind, sometimes I have the German name in my mind. Sometimes even some Japanese names, like Umbreon is called Buraki, so Blackie in very creative, I know, in Japanese, and I never forget that one. Or Vaporeon, for some reason, is called Shawasu, so that's showers. Which, okay, showers, sure. What else? Chansey is called Lucky. That's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think I'll go with the early frame for another hour, and later I'll go for the 18,000 frame. That will take a bit more time, 5 minutes in between resets, but if I would do it the old way, then that would maybe take even, well, no, not maybe, that would definitely take longer, on average. Let's see. We have a Feebas, but it's not shiny, so I'm not having it. Let's use this rod. And as I mentioned before, also last week on Wednesday, fortunately I will not be able to stream tomorrow and Sunday. And that's why I thought, I kind of feel bad, only one stream per week. On Wednesdays I thought, okay, maybe I can do a Feebas stream on Friday. Again with the alliterative appeal, which I like. Let's see where this goes. Then after the week, not this weekend that's coming now, but the weekend after that, I'll do the Safari Hunt stream, where I do RNG manipulation for shinies in the Safari Zone, which is different than doing it like here. I mean, not in the terms of the RNG or anything, but in game, when you go to the Safari Zone, you do not send out your Pokemon. You have less options, so you can either approach the Pokemon, which makes catching it easier, but it also heightens the chances of the Pokemon fleeing, so it's a risk-reward kind of strategy thing. And you can also feed them Pokeblocks, which I will do because they're always going to be adamant, and adamant Pokemon always like spicy blocks. I went ahead and made a couple of spicy blocks. So that should work. You're cute, Magikarp, but no. I would prefer if you would be shiny. Although I already have multiple shiny Magikarp now that I'm thinking about it. Let's use this again, why not? Okay. Pretty quiet now with the viewers. Any one of you listening while you're doing this weekend? Do you have any plans? I'll have plans, and unfortunately these plans hinder me from streaming this weekend, but I mean, so you gotta do and run around sometimes, that's just the way it goes. Tomorrow there's gonna be, also on Sunday, there's gonna be flea markets, which I always attend. I like flea markets, it's a hobby of mine. And when you get lucky, you can find absolute bargains. For example, one of the best deals I've made was when I found a black GameCube, a used GameCube with the Game Boy Player attached, and the CD came with that as well. So the way I'm playing the Pokemon Ruby cartridge right now. And also it included 4 controllers, original controllers, not third-party ones, and I paid 12 euros for that, which is insane if you think about it. It's nothing. So flea markets usually... Oh, for a second I thought it was shiny, but no, unfortunately not. Okay, kind of weird that I haven't gotten a shiny until now. But the frame is right though. Well, it is a 60th of a second after all. That is a, as speedrunners call it, a frame perfect input. And I mean that it's kind of tricky, but you'll get used to it when you do it enough times. And we still got, I mean, I planned on streaming until like for 4 hours. Then it's midnight, then I'll go to bed. So, and usually when I stream, I think it's because I'm having fun, which is good, right? But just time flies so fast. I still can't believe that right now I'm already streaming for 1 hour, 1 and almost half an hour. Because it does not feel like that at all to me. But here we go. Also, let's see if maybe later some recurring viewers, if they come back. If not, I mean, I get it. Life's busy and YouTube isn't everyone's #1 priority, at least I hope so. It would be kind of weird if it was. Especially, yeah, social media the way it is today. I still miss old YouTube. Ah, again, for a split second I thought it was a shiny, but no. So there are other tiles that give me Feebas, but finding one isn't more than enough for me. And like I said before, it can... You can be sitting there for 3 hours and still not find your tile, so... Catching Feebas and getting Milotic or Milotic in this game is actually, now that I think about it, no wonder I never got one as a child, because it's freaking hard. You need to find the tile, and then you need to figure out that the Feebas only evolves through beauty, and not only beauty, but it needs to be maxed out. It's unlike the newer generations where you trade the Feebas holding a that specific scale. I forgot the English name of the item in question, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. You could just trade it and then it evolves. That's straightforward, like evolving an Onyx by letting it hold that metal coat thing. But back then that wasn't the case. You just needed to do that. You needed to find a tile and then needed to figure out how to grind Pokeblocks in a way that makes it so that the beauty stat is maxed out, which would be either blue or indigo, maybe gold and black. I mean, there's some colors of Pokeblocks that push every single stat, so you can have a perfect Pokemon in terms of contest stats. There's also lots of videos online that show you how to do it. Oh geez, still no shiny. Still no... Oops, that was not my intention. There we go. The nature thing is also not as much of a problem right now as it used to be, because when and I will do that, transfer the Feebas up to the newer generations. Starting from generation 8, you can use not bottle caps, mints to change the nature, or at least make it so that it's competitively the nature that you want, as in stat changes and all. So I'm gonna do that. But still, I planned on getting a shiny Milotic in this game, and the adamant one just doesn't cut it, just unnecessarily complicates things. Don't forget to hydrate. Very important. Yeah, with this frame it's going fast, but and yet still no shiny. Okay, 5 seconds remaining. Come on, I gotta do this. Just need to time it perfectly. That's a shiny Carvanha. Not a shiny Carvanha, what the heck am I talking about? No, that did not register. Let's do it again. I can also, should I do it with the Sapphire, I can also try getting a super early frame. But not too early, because some Pokemon have a long startup delay. So too early is actually not the best idea. Oh, okay, that one. Hey there, Richard L. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Ah, the good old Eontimer. Yeah, I have the old design. I still need to get the design that Blissey did. That one is much better, but I just am too stupid to find it on Discord or something. He told me it's there, I just can't find it. I've typed in the password and all, but I can't seem to find it. But yeah, Eontimer, very important if you want to RNG manipulate. You can use Eontimer, but there's also other timers like Flow Timer, also usable. I mean, it's exactly the same mechanism, right? It just tells you when to press A or when to soft reset, and that's it. If you call that hacking or cheating, I don't know. Cheating, maybe you could argue that it's some kind of cheating, but do you get an unfair advantage because of that? That would constitute as cheating to me. And I don't know. I don't see this as cheating, and I absolutely do not see it as hacking. Because hacking would be something else. That would be action replay. Then, okay, that would constitute as hacking in my book. I also use this version. It works. That's what matters. Yeah, exactly. Did you already catch a shiny Feebas? No, unfortunately not. Not yet. I mean, I have before, off stream, yeah. But, the thing is, that one is adamant. And the way the game works is that adamant Pokemon don't like dry Pokeblocks, and it's the dry Pokeblocks, unfortunately, that give you the beauty stat. So the Feebas that I have does not want to eat these at all, or just reluctantly eats them, and it makes it more difficult than it should be. So I mean, right now I'm going for an adamant frame. Maybe also a Carvanha, that would be cool. Could be. And later I will go for the 18,629 frame. That would yield a timid male Feebas with... Except for defense, IV is pretty bad, but special defense and is perfect, and HP as well as special attack are pretty good. Speed below average, but Milotic, whatever you want to call it, is not exactly known to be the fastest thing in the world, so... And I will also be able to bottle cap them later. And who knows, who will ask for a clone of a shiny in the future. I wonder which ones people are going for. Probably, my guess would be most would like a shiny Rayquaza. Because, I mean, that is one of the best shinies to have. And, I mean, it's adamant and has 3 perfect IVs. What more could you possibly want? That's actually pretty good, considering RNGing in Generation 3 usually doesn't give you good stats. That's what Generation 4 RNG Manipulation is about. Still no shiny. Although I suspect that sometimes my Eontimer kind of lags. Maybe I should close the program and open it back up again, just in case. Sometimes Eontimer usually works fine, but sometimes it has like mini glitches where the sound doesn't play, or the visual cue doesn't show. I don't really need the visual cue, but still makes it a bit easier. Which shiny out of generation 1 to 3 do you like the most? I mean, my favorite Pokemon is Latias, and I really love the shiny as well. It used to be my PFP or my avatar, my icon on YouTube for a super long time. So that one, and then generally all the pink shinies, so Wailmer, Wailord, Sveal and its evolutions. Others like, what's it called again? I now remember the German name Woingenau, but what's the English? Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is also nice. All the pink shinies, when it's pink, I'm all for it. I have a unhealthy obsession with that color. When I get something, an appliance or even a car, I always try to get it in pink. And I mean, that's not... I mean, it could have been blue or any other color, it just happened to be pink. But yeah, I think these shinies I like the most. And also, shiny Rayquaza is black shinies usually always work. Shiny Kyogre is great as well. I mean, pink, yeah. Groudon as well, even though I'm not such a fan of the color itself, but still, it's a good looking shiny. Let's see if this was the correct input. Got a Feebas, but not a shiny one, so unfortunately not. Oh wait, no. I'll close the program. Now I'll open it again in the hopes that it was a little lag glitch all the time. So I had that happen before, so just to be absolutely sure. I don't do that with Pokéfinder here, because when that one glitches and I open it up, for some reason OBS doesn't want to show it anymore. It has happened before in my streams. No idea why. I've tried to change that, but it just doesn't work. But usually these programs work great. Sometimes they have some hiccups, but then again, I'm glad that they exist at all, to be fair, and to be honest. Pokéfinder isn't even completely done, and at least to my knowledge, for Generation 5. So when I get around RNG manipulating Generation 5, I hope that Pokéfinder is done. Do you check the frames you're hitting from time to time? I mean, it already says that in Eontimer it's 7... do you mean just checking out the frames, or you mean calibrating? Because calibrating I usually don't. Because I usually don't need to do it, but with checking frames, it's this one that I'm looking for. The delay is correct, and I put that exact frame in Eontimer. But yeah, theoretically I could calibrate. But I usually use calibration when I'm not sure what the frame delay is, because that is a good way of finding that out. But I could do it here, yeah. And then you subtract the difference and put that in Eontimer. Let's see. We have, that's a normal one. Too bad that it's a Feebas. I can't check that because it's not a encounter slot here. Because it doesn't work like that, Feebas, so I'm gonna reset now. I can show off calibration when it's something else, like a Carvanhas or a Magikarp. Feebas is not in a slot, at least that's not how it works. Because Feebas is in a very special exception to that. Sometimes even after calibrating I've realized that I'm like 10 to 15 frames off. Yeah, that can happen. After recalibrating I'm frame perfect. Yeah, I can calibrate, should I get a non-Feebas. Hey there, Shiny Rayquaza. I was wondering when you'd show up. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing tonight? Until now, no shiny Feebas, but still got a couple of hours to go, so hopefully that will change soon. So yeah, when I get a Carvanha, and then the non-shiny you could generate, and then you go... Okay, maybe I should do that first. 7,000 as a minimum. Then we don't need to scroll as much, and then I can maybe make out which one I've hit. Sorry, I'm with my friend. Hey, no problem. As I said before, I don't expect people to have my streams on their highest priority. Doing well, that's great. How about you, Omni? Yeah, I'm actually doing good. I'm feeling pretty good. This far this year has been solid for me. Sadly, still haven't gotten a job yet, but I mean, I'm not the only one. There's so many people right now, well-educated people, I might add, that don't find a job for the dumbest reasons you could think of, but thinking of maybe taking, like, a job that I don't have my college degree in. Oh, oops, that was a mistake. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm still lucky I got my family who support me. But I'm thinking of maybe taking another job that's not IT right now, just to keep just so that I can have income at least, because I don't, right? Right now I'm living off of the mercy of my husband's parents. Which I think that is how it should be done, because if you have children, it's not a 18-year commitment. I think that is just so, I don't know. I shudder at the idea of parents kicking out their children at 18. Just a matter of time, yeah. I hopefully I'll get one this year, if things go well. And then I can finally maybe rent a bigger place. I mean, got a 3-room apartment here, but it's still pretty small. But then again, the housing crisis in Luxembourg is through the roof, literally. That's insane. I mean, if you want to buy a normal 4-bedroom house in Luxembourg, it's gonna cost you over $1 million, and I'm not willing to buy or to get a loan for €1 million just for a standard house. I don't see the point for that. Scared for the upcoming years, because when I get my license, I have to sort out my own life out. I can understand. When I was your age, I was also scared of that. But to be fair, I have to say this honestly. I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm an adult right now, because so many things are in your hands, but that can also be a good thing. So you're not limited by your parents anymore, or not as much. You can make your own decisions. So maybe it'll be like once with me, once I turned adult, I was, oh wow, there's so many things I can do and choose. And that freedom is actually, I'm really enjoying that. I keep thinking to myself, I'm so glad I'm not a kid anymore. Because as a child, you don't really have that much negotiating power, right? Obviously you don't, but also as a minor, a 17-year-old, still minor, still not an adult. And I'm really enjoying that fact. Hope I move countries, start my life relatively easily. Yeah, good luck for that, honestly, yeah. I can see why you don't want to stay in the UK. It's going south since a long time, but Brexit sure as heck didn't help. can't really advise you on where to go. I would say Luxembourg, but there's the big problem that you need to learn multiple languages, and the housing crisis is just insane here, so... Obviously, starting a life in a new country in my situation is way harder than it needs to be. Yeah, that is true, and that's unfortunate. It really is. They just make it much harder than it really needs to be. I'm just really angry about how much housing costs, both in renting and buying. Housing is a fundamental human right in my eyes, and I think if you even, it's my honest opinion that if you work even half a day, then you should be able to afford an apartment for yourself with ease. If you work at least a bit, you should be able to, and not like it is nowadays with both like mom and dad work and still there's no time for the kids. And then they wonder why the birth rate plummet. I wonder why. Let's see. Felt right, but no. Keep getting Feebas, but no shiny ones. No matter how flirty, sexual, uncontrollable, or whatever else I am, I can't cope with the feelings after all of that. That's why I do it. Yeah, but as you become older, the coping mechanisms or coping with certain emotions becomes easier, at least in my experience, it is like that. There's things that would have knocked me off my proverbial socks back then, and now I can regulate my emotions much easier because I'm an adult, right? So... I mean, for some people that never comes even when they're 50 or 60 or 70, but I doubt that you are someone like that. Really is time for a shiny now, though, dang it. Oh, and I might also add now that you hear shiny Rayquaza that should I not get the Feebas today, the timid Feebas, then next Friday I'll also do another stream, Feebas Friday. My whole personality was formed because of a close online friend passed. Oh, you had a friend online and he's deceased now? That's... oh no, that's unfortunate. My condolences. That must be tough. Carrying on what you started? Oh, that's very kind of you. So, in a way, he lives, or she, her, they, I don't know the person, but they live on in that, and that's great. So, thank you for doing that. In some ways, some people never die. And now my voice is breaking again. I know how that, I have a, I used to have, but that's like over 10 years ago at this point. I used to chat with a Japanese girl online, and she was a lot like me. We had a lot of the same interests, and when I tried getting back to her, I had to unfortunately learn that she, ended her life. And that was really hard to swallow. That was horrible, and still think about her a lot. And yeah, I know how that feels. It's really horrible. Gave me the spirit I didn't have, basically. Normally I hate telling people this, but lately it's just been creeping into me. I mean, I get maybe that you don't want to share that with everyone. That's fair, but you can see that when he gave you the spirit you didn't have, then you can carry on his spirit. That's honorable, honestly. And it's always the funniest people that are the most depressed, unfortunately. And people have a wrong image of what depression looks like. They're not depressed 24/7, or they don't look sad all the time. Some of the most depressed people I've known are very jovial, happy looking, funny people. But once they're alone, it becomes worse. I feel for that. People ask me why I'm like this all the time, but I don't want to tell anyone the reason. Probably because you got shamed, right? And I'm very sorry for you if someone shamed you for something stupid like that. People should stop shaming for the dumbest reasons. Jeez. But I know how it feels when a friendship like that shakes you to your core. That's definitely legit. Let's use this rod. Oops, that was not my intention. Hey there. Never been shamed, it's just something I feel that would be what people expected. Oh, so you're scared that they do it, but you haven't been shamed. Yeah, I do understand that, but they probably think I'm just like this because I wanna be. Does it matter though? I mean, you can be you in the ways, as long as you don't hurt anyone, be you in the way that you wanna be. If the reason is because of a person in your past, or just because you want, or because you want to explore yourself, who you really are. I mean, I know people who just found themselves truly who they are in their 30s and 40s, so it's never too late. And maybe it'll change in 5 years, who knows, as long as it feels right. And that's what's the most important part. Doesn't really matter, the reason doesn't matter as much, as at least I would think so. And saying this from experience, be very careful about thinking about what other people think of you, because comparison is the thief of joy. It's unfortunately, it took me way too long to understand that. My mom already said that when I was a small child. I used to compare myself constantly, and she said that, and I just didn't want to believe it. But right, like now, I'm saying no, she was right. Mama was right. Like with many things, she was. Again, a Feebas, but no shiny one. What's happening? Very unlucky today. Like. Almost 2 hours in, still no shiny. Is it one of these days again where I'm off by 1 frame for several hours? But yeah, you still have time to explore yourself and learn what feels right, what doesn't. I also, my grandma, my maternal grandma also shaped me a lot. The person I am today is thanks to her. And I'm doing the same thing you're doing, Super Shiny Rayquaza. I read Super Con and then went to, oh yeah, Super Rayquaza, no, it's Shiny Rayquaza. I'm doing the same thing. Her spirit lives on in my actions, in my how I am. Because she was a great person. One of the sweetest persons I've ever known. Even like animals loved her, was like a Disney princess. animals automatically liked her. Small children automatically liked her, you know. That's when you know you got a person with a good heart, when animals judge them to be, oh, I like that person. And she was kind, she was pure, she was pure as in pure-hearted. She tried to see the good in every single human, which I'm also trying to do, but sometimes it's very hard because sadly, it's a fact, some people just aren't good. There are some evil bastards out there. That's just unfortunate. But it's true, I can't deny that. Do a couple more frames or tries with the 7000 frame, and for some reason still hasn't got me a shiny, not even a shiny Carvanha, which is strange. But I'll go for the 18,629 frame, which is a bit long of a wait, like 5 minutes, but wait, I could calculate this. So 2 hours left, about. That's 160 minutes divided by 5 minutes, so that would be 24 tries. Alright. Yeah, like I said before, if this stream does not yield me the shiny Feebas, then next Friday you can already count on me doing another edition of this spontaneous stream that I did today. I just felt so bad. I also read your message, Shiny Rayquaza, about saying, oh, no more streams this week. And I felt bad because I couldn't stream. I just can't stream this weekend. Doesn't work. And I felt like, okay, I will be home on Friday evening. And why not do a Feebas stream? And now we're here. It was a bit spontaneous, but let's see what I get. Hope one day I can find someone who understands why I am like I am. Yeah, I hope so for you as well. Finding a person who really understands you, it feels wonderful. I can tell you that much. I know that because my husband is like that. We really understand each other completely, and it's good. It feels really good. Oh! Alright, shiny Magikarp. Alright. Sure. Why not? Pretty good one, even. Alright, so this time I can actually so use the good rod, and I got a Magikarp as a shiny. So I did hit the frame correctly, but the frame turned out to spawn a Magikarp instead of a Feebas. So it could have been a Feebas, but it turned out to be a Magikarp, which honestly I don't have a problem with that at all. Shiny is a shiny. I'm gonna use a luxury ball. Dream about finding a girl or a guy who has the same interests as me and can match my personality. Yeah, I don't want to brag, but that's basically what me and my husband are. We have almost the same personality, or more like interests, and we deeply understand each other, so that really, it feels amazing when you have a relationship like that. But it might be very hard finding someone like that, I have to be honest though. Okay, so this is the first shiny that I got. Shiny Magikarp, not what I wanted, but a shiny is better than nothing. Let's try this again. Carvanha would be cool as well. I actually don't have a shiny Carvanha. So I'll use the Mega Con, the Super Rod from now on. I already got a shiny Magikarp. I don't need 5 more, honestly. Although it is nice, but I'm here for Feebas, not for Magikarp. Come on, shiny Feebas. Yeah, I know. Now some of my depression is gone. Oh, you have depression. I'm really sorry. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, to be honest. It just destroys so much in your life, everything that is nice. Are you over 30? You don't have to answer, of course. No, I'm turning 30 this year. I'm not over 30, but yeah, I'm a 90s child. Hopefully, I hope for you, Shiny Rayquaza, that you get a partner like that, but I mean, I just got really freaking lucky, I have to admit. I didn't do anything special to attain a husband like that. It just happened to be so that that in the same town that I grew up in, a couple of hundreds of meters next block, my husband grew up there, so went to the same primary school, even same kindergarten, but we didn't really like each other back then. And it's cute because he always took the toys that I wanted to play with and vice versa, so we would get into little childish arguments. And now we love each other, so that's a Feebas, but not shiny, unfortunately. Wish that friend met you. Omni. I mean, I already have. I got lucky there. Wish you were still here. Oh yeah. Okay, now I got what you understood. What you meant to say. Sorry, I misread that. I feel for them. Only stolen husband. He's mine now, so not giving him back. Absolutely not. Sorry. Too cute for that. Well, yeah, I can confirm if you're in a relationship like that, it's really for your mental health, your well-being. Does wonders. But to be fair, what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that once you have a relationship like that, you just don't let it simmer and do nothing. Don't let it rot. You still need to put in work. But you're gonna be motivated if your relationship is this good. You're gonna be very motivated to keep it like that. Omni for real said Yonk mine now. Well, actually, he asked me out. I didn't have the balls to do that. I have to really admit that he asked me out, and we became a couple in 2010, and in 2020 we married. But yeah, now I'm going. That's my husband. But I'm sure that you'll find someone in your life. I know this sounds stupid, that advice, but it's just true. You'll find one when you aren't looking for someone. That seems to be true. It's actually good advice. But right now, the dating pool and all that with the apps, I really feel sorry for people looking for a significant other right now, because it's just so toxic, the new apps. You're reduced to an image, a number. If you don't look super photoshopped in your profile picture, you're probably not gonna get a partner, or less so, which is nonsense. Okay, so now I'm gonna try the timid one. So that will take a bit longer. 5 minutes in between. So for the first time, for the first time that we use this frame, let's enjoy the intro of Pokemon Ruby, which is slightly different from the one in Emerald. Mainly that here not a Flygon flies by, but a Latios. Hooray for Plain Dragon. That design is just so slick. They peaked at this design. They really knew what they were doing. Still remember seeing this the first time in, was it 2002 or 3 when I got this? Good times. At least when I played it. I don't really remember my childhood that fondly. It was pretty difficult. Got bullied a lot, got teased a lot, got beaten up a lot, and even worse. I think it was a bit too far mentioning that in the stream, but like I said before, I'm so glad I'm out of that now. I'm so glad I'm an adult and I can actually choose who I am around with, because that is one thing that is pretty tricky when you are a minor and you have to go to class or somewhere else, and you can't really change the people you have to do something with, right? You can't really change your classmates except in some cases, or you would change schools, but how many times can you do that, right? Hey there, human name, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing tonight? May RNG bless thee. Thank you. Until now it's been pretty unlucky. I've only gotten a shiny Magikarp, which wasn't the plan, but still. Still no shiny Feebas, but that is what I want. A timid one would be perfect. The dream is the RX-7, my partner, making out on the front seat late at night. While you're flying the plane, that would be badass, I have to admit. Genuinely dreamt that? No, that's cute. Yeah, I've had dreams like these as well. Like, not in a fighter plane, but something else that I've liked. Been playing MGRR. MGRR is... Sorry, sometimes I'm an idiot when it comes to abbreviations like these. MGRR, what was that again? Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, is that what you're referring to? I think that one came out recently, didn't it? Not that much into Metal Gear, although I do have some games. I have the one on GameCube, for example. Metal Gear Rising, yeah. And? How's it been? Do you like the game? Making out on a fighter jet wing 2. Okay, that is very metal. If I ever become rich, I'm buying a fighter jet and doing that. I also have my plans, should I become rich, but it doesn't involve a fighter jet. I would love to have for example, I would love to have not a koi, but a carp as a pet. And they become huge. Just imagine you have a pet fish that weighs more than you. Came out like a decade ago. Oh, is it the remake? Because with all the new remakes coming out, I kind of lose track. The game is awesome. That's great to hear. A pink glittery car. you know it. You know it. I'm trying to save for some money. There's some pink smarts that I'm having an eye on. With those eyelashes. Actually, no, I'm not that big of a fan of these eyelash things on cars. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I don't need those. But yeah, I know what you mean though. I've seen them before as well. Let's see. Let's use the original definition of memes, so the dialogue is hysterical. Oh, it does, yeah. Shalom, shalom, Uncle Ben. Welcome to the stream. How have you been? Got to go. Alright, thank you for being part of the stream, Shiny Rayquaza, and see you later then. So yeah, until now, maybe I'll show what I've gotten until now. Pretty unlucky, only a shiny Magikarp, which isn't the plan. I mean, I am looking for Feebas, but the RNG taketh, the RNG giveth. Oh, never mind, you can stay? Okay. Okay, hopefully I'll get it this stream. I mean, I already have a shiny Feebas, an adamant one, and because of the game, how the game works, in this generation you need to max out the beauty stat when you want to evolve Feebas, and that means, or that entails, having to feed it blue Pokeblocks or dry Pokeblocks, and unfortunately adamant Pokemon do not like these at all, so I need a timid one, or at least with a nature that is that doesn't hate dry Pokeblocks. I've been playing too much Pokemon Go and my brain has almost turned to mush. I see. So, what are you looking for currently in Pokemon Go? Still doing the raids? I stopped playing it, but my dad, he still he plays it a lot. He's pretty good at it. Maximum level and everything. And he has so many gyms where he has gold. He's gold. It's basically like marking his territory now. And you have to use Pokemon Go to evolve the what's the name again in English? Oh, what's it called? Meltan, also in English, I think. If you want to have Melmetal, you need to use Go. MGR has the best dialogue. There's a guy who just randomly says, "Ich liebe Kapitalismus" out of nowhere. It's a gold mine of shitposts. Why would you say that? That's insane. Melmetal, yeah. It's so weird. Know where your dad plays it? Yep. My dad plays it. My dad is also one of the reasons why I am a gamer, because I was back then when I inherited his NES and his SNES that he used to have. And so I basically grew up with consoles already being in the house, or in the household. And yeah, he's maximum level in... I think it might not be too much of an exaggeration if I'd say that my dad is probably one of the best Pokemon Go players in Luxembourg. Granted, there are not as many people in Luxembourg since we're a micronation, but he's really good at that. Obviously, Omni's dad is a mafia Pokemon Go was. Yeah, be careful or you're gonna sleep with the Magikarps tonight, right? And you vanish in a river with concrete block shoes. Those goddamn Italians, man, you never mess with them. They are wacky people, let me tell you. Yeah, my dad actually got pretty late into Pokemon. He back then he just never liked RPGs much. He was more, or he's more of a like Super Mario player or puzzle games. He's really good at these. The guy says Ich liebe Kapitalismus because he offers Raiden, the main character, ability upgrades for severe hands. Yeah, but capitalism doesn't really help with that. If you look at one glance at the American or US healthcare system, which is super capitalistic, just shows you that that is not the ideal. But then again, it's Metal Gear, and the dialogue there is known to be really wacky, which adds charm in my opinion. Still no shiny. Yeah, downloaded it because I wanted to work towards the shiny living decks. Good luck on that. And realized I had some shinies in there I hadn't transferred. Yeah, he's also shiny hunting now. My dad has a lot of shinies. With good IVs even. He just ties some Geodudes on your feet and he uses his max level Mega Rayquaza to hyper beam you. Quick execution style. The funny thing is he does have a shiny Rayquaza. Of course he has. He's, like I said, he's a very good Pokemon Go player. He's really good. He has so many shinies with good IVs. And he's very involved in the community. And he's now basically, he's playing my account as well, because I kind of stopped playing, but because of him I also got tons of shinies on there. Don't get in an Italian's car, that's the rule, unless you have a death wish. Well then I guess, I mean, am I Italian? I don't have an Italian passport, but because my dad is Italian, the way the Italian laws work, there's a term for that, but I can't think of it right now. I am considered to be Italian. To the Italian, I mean, I can go live in Italy as an Italian, and I can even vote, even though I never lived in Italy. I've only like been there for vacation and to visit relatives. But I'm Italian enough for them to be considered Italian, because my dad is Italian. I'd get into Italian's car if he was hot. So you would get into my car if you think I was hot, then okay, I guess. He had me, I'm haunted, yeah. Capitalism is the only system that allows people to sell their enemies' hands to the sketchy doctor. Yep, for profit even. You could convince him to rename his shiny Rayquaza Omni's #1 viewer. I can ask. Don't know if he's gonna do it. But he usually gives them names that pertain to their IVs. No. Now I'm trying to think of that word. That law. Jure sanguinis, that's it. Citizenship by descent. So, jure sanguinis, which is Latin for jure is a law or jurisdiction. And sanguinis comes from sanguine, blood. So, rule, law by blood. That's why I am considered to be a Italian by Italy, and I could go there and get a Italian passport or double nationality, which I might do in the future. Number 2, number 1, number 2, number 1. Mambo number 5, what about that? Oh geez, there's a 1 now. Yes, no, yes, no. This is funny. 9. I can't watch these meme videos with the You know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name on stream, but Hitler. You know, the meme where that actor from that movie, or is it a show? I don't remember. Where he just yells 9999, which is just no, no, no. And you're supposed to, the meme is they just type random things as the subtitles because most people don't understand German. But because I can understand what the actor is saying, I have to watch these videos on mute because that way I can, yeah. No, yes, nein, sie, nei, yeah, nay, you. They're going through every single language that they can think of, maybe. You guys good? You too? When Arch isn't here, you pick another one, Very funny. Nuh-uh. And that's not a shiny. Jeez. Yeah. No. To be continued, I guess. Yes. When's gonna start saying ie and hi in Japanese? Zilch. Your smart math brain won't beat my stubbornness. You know what they say about that, right? Oh wait, is that even a thing in English? No, it isn't. In German there's a saying that says der Klügere gibt nach, which just means the smartest one, the smarter one yields. But I don't know if that has an English equivalent, actually. I don't think so. The wiser one gives in would be a literal translation, but yeah, I don't think that is a English idiom anyway. Yeah, negative, affirmative. Terminated. Bring out the thesaurus, every single synonym you could find. The mod wars. I remember when I survived the mod wars. A math genius versus a shiny Rayquaza, who will win? Whatever the opposite of that is. If the smart one yields, then I'm fucking stupid. You make me say the F word on stream, so there we go. Hope that's not a problem, but extreme speed plus 2 priority. That's a compelling argument, though. But yeah, I thought about that saying, but then a microsecond later I was like, wait, no, they don't say that in English. That's true. Kid name stupid. I mean, you've probably know a person called Connie, or a variation thereof, and con is dumb or stupid in French. So if you're called bonjour, mon nom est Connie. Hi, my name is Stupid. But that's like that's a thing with different languages. I also know that some Western names mean something very strange in other languages, in Cantonese, for example. Think, what was it again? I have a friend who's Chinese. She told me, was it Lucas? When you pronounce it in Cantonese, Lukashi. It's crap comes or something like that. Adult name stupid. Adult who gave consent name stupid. Adult who changed his name or her name legally to stupid. Jeez, I've seen names, people giving their children names where I'm just like, why? And I'm not talking about I mean, that is an extreme example, what Elon Musk named his son. That's just insane. Why would you do that? But also other names I've seen. Legal age person names. That's literally the meme where it's at first one single or two words and then it gets described in the more and more in a more complex manner. That's the meme right now. But yeah, I've seen names where I've just had to shake my head because that kid is gonna have to run around with that name and be called that. I'll gladly change my name to Classic legally. Mr. Classic. Why though Classic? Mr. Classic legally. Well, if you call Uncle Ben, if your real name is Ben and you're an uncle, they call you Uncle Ben. Sir Classic legal. Sir? So you want to get knighted. How fancy. Or master. Wow. Or you imagine just doing a PhD just so you can be called Dr. Classic. That'd be funny. Although a lot of work for a joke, but still. Username Classic also comes from that sad topic about myself only. Oh, I see. I don't know, I know it changes and it depends per country, but if I would want to change my name legally to Classic, the Luxembourgish government would not allow me to because they'd say Classic isn't the name. They're actually very strict on what you can call yourself or your child. Actually, my name, I mean, it's Yana is written Y-A-N-N-A, and usually the name is written differently. I have a very specific Hebrew spelling of that name. Usually it's spelled J-A-N-A or J-A-N-N-A or I-A-N-N-A. And even with my unique spelling of the name, which is a valid spelling, my dad got into some trouble back then when I was a newborn and he wanted to put my name in legally, but they did allow that, but I couldn't rename myself Classic. That wouldn't work. They would say no. We won't allow that. I would change my name to Jack Memes Raiden. Jack Memes Raiden. Would they allow that on the Faroe Islands? Because, like I said before, in Luxembourg that wouldn't fly because they're too strict for that. I've devoted everything I do online towards him. Must be very important, and I'm really sorry to hear when a person like this is not among us anymore. I know how that feels. I'm with the same way with my grandma. I miss her every single day. And if I could bring her back, I would, but unfortunately I can't. We have a name book. The only way to get a non-Faroese name is to inherit it. Oh, so it's even stricter. You have a name book. In Luxembourg, usually when it can be found in name registers, which have thousands of names, even containing names from foreign cultures, like Arabic names or Italian names, like that. What was your name? Yana? You tell me. Yeah, Yana. I've heard Laurel. Can't blame you. Oh, and by the way, my skin color is black and my hair color is blue. And my name is Lorela. Yeah, with the Yanma thing, that was really everyone teased me about that back when Generation 2 came out. Oh my god, that sounds like Yanma. It's almost the same. I know. I know. Isn't it wild that you can't name your own kid what you want in some countries? True, and I see what you mean, and I agree, but then again, if you see some names, you see them. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to that. It's called r/tragedy, and tragedy not written with an Y at the end, but a EIGH. And the names that some mothers give to their children is just, Jesus, what are you thinking? You're cursing that poor kid. So in some ways I'm glad that tragedies like that are not allowed in Luxembourg, but still the choice, it's not as restrictive as it is with what Human names it with the book. You can name your child a lot of things. It's just, do you really want to name your child Lucifer, for example? That wouldn't be allowed in Luxembourg. It would be allowed in the US, I know that is a fact. But why would you call your kid that? That just, do you want him to get bullied and teased and disrespected? Ah, still no shiny. That can't be possible. Thing is, some names don't work with Harry's grammar. Okay, that is a very unique case then. Interesting though. Didn't know that. School, if I could call myself classic, and apparently calling someone a classic means they're important to you. Never heard of that, but yeah, classic usually is a word that has positive connotations. I could name a kid 16-wheeler lorry bath soap and they have to deal with it. Yeah, in America that would be like that. In Luxembourg they would say, no, don't. You can't. All of my names have 6 letters each, so 666. Oh no. Good thing I'm not, how do you call them again? Superstitious. I used to be as a child, but not right now. Or quite the opposite. I've had a car recently in front of me that had something 666. Just reminded me of that. They shortened it to Bob. 16-wheeler lorry bath soap, shortened to Bob. Alright, sure. There were linguists hired to create conjugations for one of my classmates' names, because his name wasn't Faris. Alright, so you have conjugations with names. That is very interesting. That's the first I've learned something new today. Good thing you're here, Human Name. I tend to learn some new things with you. Well, with you as well, Shiny Rayquaza. Got some military jet knowledge, thanks to you, that I wouldn't have otherwise. And I probably instilled some astronomy knowledge onto you, maybe. Hopefully. But yeah, if you want to go to that subreddit once and look up what kinds of names exist. I mean, I already had some trouble with my name. Not as in it means something bad, but because my first name is an unusual spelling, so people always get that wrong, or a lot of the times they get it wrong. And my last name is Italian, which they also, a lot of people get wrong. Because they're not used to Italian family names. No offense, Omni, but I forget almost everything from a stream. Yeah, no offense taken. I get it. Because you're not looking to learn anything from a stream. That's fair. But yeah, I'm known to randomly drop astronomy lore or just knowledge, trivia, facts, whatever you want to call it. What with that linguist hired to, so you can use their names with the grammar. That is very unique. I've never heard of anything like that before. And I know that I won't forget that ever now, because that is just such a unique thing. Love to learn, but my brain can't handle smart stuff. Well, maybe that's what you think, right? If you're in a not so great position at home, then learning can be more difficult. And once you're removed from that situation, it can work as it was intended. So maybe look at that like that way. I wouldn't say you're stupid. I've seen stupid people and it's very obvious when they are. Changing the topic for a moment, no problem. Do you get call center scams in Luxembourg? By far not as many as in other countries, because we have a lot, the state, the government itself, they make a lot of ads warning people about scams like these, but they do exist. It's usually scams targeting older people, and maybe they like try to say, hey, I'm your, I don't know, that and that descendant and I need money, things like that. Call centers tend to scam Germany more. At least that's my in my anecdotal experience, of course. Oh, that was way too early. Oops. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. For me, it's Marius nominative, Marius accusative, Mariusi dative, and Mariusar, Marius genitive. Yeah, you use grammar for names. That is very unique. I've never seen that before. That's actually a bit fascinating to me, honestly. I've literally never heard of anything like that. Get to choose my genitive conjugation. Oh, you get to choose it? Okay. Alright, be right back. Gonna get a shower. Enjoy your shower, Shiny Rayquaza. Was just wondering, because I've been getting calls all week and they're all from India. Yeah, India has like this. I mean, call center scams seem to go down now. What the big new scam right now is what do you call them? Pig butchering scams, which people tried with me when I got a random WhatsApp message from some Asian dude I didn't know. And I knew that it was a pig butchering scam. Like, I immediately blocked them. I don't even engage, because that's what they want. They want to engage in a conversation and then guilt trip you. Not falling for that. It's also in Icelandic. Yeah, Icelandic, I've heard from people, I've known people who were Icelandic. They told me the language is pretty difficult. But then again, I've never learned Icelandic, never had the need to learn it, but maybe if I looked at it, I could tell you with more accuracy, let's say, if it's hard or not, because I mean, I am fluent in 5 languages and currently trying to become fluent in 7 when my Japanese and my Italian becomes better. Mostly pretend I've fallen down the stairs and I've really hurt myself and they hang up. Yeah, wasting that time is pretty funny. There's YouTube channels that do this. It's really funny. Your name was Yana, right? Yeah. That would be Yana Yonu. Okay. Yonu dative and Yonu genitive. Very interesting. It changes from the R vowel to O and U. Okay, fascinating. Icelandic is just trash fairies. You said that, but can't really say much about that. But yeah, my name is pretty rare. At least the spelling is. My dad got the idea. He knew a Finnish family. I think they actually immigrated into Luxembourg, if I'm not mistaken. And that family had a girl who was called Jana, and he loved the name so much, so he wanted to name his daughter Jana. My girlfriend gets these texts that say, "Mom, I've lost my phone, text me on this number." People actually fall for these hard. Yeah, but then again, I try to not shame the victims. Usually, I mean, everyone can get scammed, even very intelligent people. I've known cases like these. And I mean, I also got a text once saying, "Mom, I need your help." And then it was obvious that it was a fake because I don't have children. So no one will come, "Mom, help. Mom, are you like a child from a alternate reality?" No, you're a scammer. Obviously. Well, yeah, the pig butchering scam has been going on like a lot, and already billions of dollars of damages worldwide. If the name has Anna on the end, it goes Anna Onu Onu Onu. Okay. So if I was called Anna, it would be like that. Interesting. And that's really fascinating because I've never heard anything like that. But that's also why I like talking about languages to people or who speak a language that I don't, like the Chinese friend that I have. Bless you, Sunny. I know you're probably not watching this, but thank you for educating me on Cantonese. It's very interesting. Also goes for the name Anna, yes. I would have assumed. Still no shiny. Getting impatient now. My shiny Feebas. Magikarp still asleep. Yeah, you can fall for anything at any time, exactly. You just need to be in the right state of mind, and with right, I mean technically the wrong state of mind. Depressed, lonely, maybe like something else, who knows? So I never tried judging these people or shaming them, because shaming them just leads to them not reporting the damage or the scam. And that means in turn that scammers get away with that quicker, and shaming doesn't really help. I think it almost never helps. But yeah, obviously when someone texts me, "Mom, I need help," then I know, okay, either someone wants to call me a mom. I'm not a mom, not yet. Don't have children, so who would text me? And my nephew wouldn't call me mom because I'm not his mom, I'm his aunt. Yeah, I became an aunt at 12 years old. That was interesting. Things that happen when your sister is 23 years older than you are. Also a very fun fact. Interesting Yana lore, I guess. Always when I went out with her, especially when I was a child, they all thought that I was her daughter. But no, I'm her sister. I'm the middle child out of 3. The sandwich child, as a former classmate called it. That just stuck with me. Sandwich child is a funny nomiker. Want some random Vietnam War era fighter jet facts? Sure, why not? I just know the Vietnam War was pretty... Jeez, I've heard from veterans what happened there, and I mean, war is war, obviously it's gonna be horrible, but... Oh, your sister is 23 years older too? What a coincidence. So you know how that feels. People just didn't want to believe me, but why would I make up a very oddly specific fact about something like this? And also, I'm a really bad liar. Probably partly due to me being autistic, but just known to be super bad liars. But yeah, could even make up interesting shit if I tried. US military were using F4 Phantoms to conduct their bombing runs. F4 Phantoms, have to Google that. F4 Phantoms. Okay, I've seen that. Is that an McDonnell Douglas? Some male names are forced to have ur at the end. There are some men from the time before the law named Odd instead of Odur. Okay. But since they were so far was in Vietnam, they weren't as effective as they needed to be. Okay, so is that a case where a fast jet wasn't needed? And you needed a bulky jet rather than a fast one? I've definitely seen the model of plane before, but the trees were the main deterrent for these bombing runs. Oh, so there was a kind of tree that somewhat lessened the impact of the bombs? That's some badass trees right there, wow. Because usually I would expect the tree, if a bomb hits, to catch fire and burn away. Or maybe get this, like the roots of the tree get dislodged by the explosion. So it gets displaced and it's either timber, tree falls down, or breaks off. I know I've seen that happen before, when I was a child. It was a hot summer evening, and it was pouring rain like crazy. And it was also, there was a thunderstorm. And I had my door, or not my door, but the terrace door open, my bedroom. And a lightning actually hit a tree that was outside and was so freaking loud. It sounded like an explosion going off. And I just see the tree being like broken in half and being on fire. That was actually when I jumped so hard because I was so freaking... Basically, I mean, you know this, right? The light is faster than sound. Light is the fastest thing in the universe. If you discount tachyons, but that's something super theoretical. And usually you see the lightning storm, you see the lightning, and then the thunder, the sound comes afterwards, because then the sound needs a bit of time to reach your ears. But this, it was really synchronized. It was the light and the sound just came in at the same time. That's when I know, okay, it was right there. And it hit the tree and it snapped in two and it was burning. Still remember that vividly. So I thought that if you bomb trees, the same would happen. So the US government decided to use their training aircraft, the Super Tweet, I don't know the exact name, and upgraded it to a combat-capable version. And nobody wanted to use this $400,000 jet when they could be using a $5 million jet. Okay, wouldn't that be more cost-effective using multiple $400,000 jets? Instead of $5 million? That's a lot of money. Intercontinental ballistic treats. Eventually they started forcing any pilot with training, even if they didn't know how to actually conduct combat runs in aircraft, to pilot them. Oh, so they used even like commercial pilots? Jeez. I can imagine that it's not the same piloting a commercial plane as opposed to a war plane. After they realized, since the Vietnamese were so used to the F4 Phantom speed that they couldn't hit the Super Tweet, so it was slower and it ended up being way more effective. Oh, I see. So they were used to hitting the fast one, and once that changed, they couldn't keep up. That's interesting. So it was way safer and effective for this task. How the turns have tabled. It's pretty funny. The less expensive, slower version turned out to be the better variant to use. But kinda dark that the Vietnamese already knew so much that the Phantom. So that means that they've been bombarded by Phantoms before. Hope people are pissing on Kissinger's grave. Yes, hope so too. I think we're thinking of the same Kissinger. What is? I know I usually I'm not like that. I am not a person who hates, but there's just some people, I have to say this, where it's morally better for them to be dead than be alive because they're just that evil, and Kissinger is one of these. So this information was sort of hard to find till later because of the US government didn't like the fact that a $400K upgraded training aircraft was better than a $5 million one. Yeah, I can imagine. You've ever seen an old anti-war film, Come and See? No, don't think so. Rest in peace, Mr. Kissinger. You know what my husband always says? He keeps saying that about Nixon or Ronald Reagan, because, I mean, we kind of hate these people because they've basically ruined a lot of economics. I know they were in the US, but that swapped over, like that came over, unfortunately. And my husband, sometimes he says, when should he go to hell, he will be the demon that uses the pitchfork on them. I think that's funny. So Mr. Kissinger, why you say Mr? That's honoring him. Rot in hell, more like that, even though I don't believe hell is real, but I'm glad he can't hurt anyone now. Even though maybe it's a bit too late for that, but geez, there's some evil people out there, let me tell you. The obituary for Kissinger was called something along the lines of "the good die young." Yeah, what's the saying again? Either you die as a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That did not register. Let's do it again. There's also a regimen of pilots that would willingly get shot down by the anti-aircraft guns so that they could find them. What? That is very dark. Wow. Voluntarily? Willingly? Press X to doubt. Is it really willingly? Or is it? You know, when in war they say, oh, but they did it willingly. Yeah. Not sure. Because no one unironically calls people Mr. In Luxembourg they do, but that's just a quirky, weird thing then, I guess. Excuse me, Mr. Classic Legally. Pretty sure they suggested the idea, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, oh yeah, but North Korea is very democratic because you can vote, and when you go to the voting booth, what is your choice? One party? Yeah, that's very democratic. Or back when Germany was fascist, I remember old people telling me that you could go to the voting booth, but there was a stupid Nazi officer right next to you with a gun. And if you didn't vote for them, you could imagine what would happen. So I wouldn't call that willingly. That's forced. So I assume it's the same thing with that regimen, because it doesn't sound like it sounds weird if a pilot would say, yeah, I want to get willingly shot down. Press X to doubt. Honestly, that's just a hierarchical skill issue to call people Mr. Sincerely. Yeah, you're right. A cheeky brown shirt watching over your shoulder. Yeah, exactly. If you vote for anything else, you'd get beaten or shot, or if you were a woman, something else happened. So we don't need. You should go. I mean, you don't need to be too involved in politics, but we cannot let the fascists win again. That should not happen. I'm take it from someone whose 4 grandparents were almost killed off by Nazis. Because they were blondes with blue eyes who were traitors, because my grandparents were so freaking based. They didn't want to associate with that regime. My grandparents, or my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, he was actually in a concentration camp because of that. And he got freed by American soldiers. My grandma as well, she got saved by American soldiers as well. There was a bomb alarm going off, and then that was when her water broke. Poor woman, oh my god, imagine that happening. But I'm glad that she survived and that she got help. Was pretty lucky. Not everyone made it out alive. In fact, a lot didn't. So we can't let that happen again. Really not nice, fascism. Trust me, you don't want to have that. Doesn't matter if it's... left-wing fascism, I guess, exists as national Bolshevism, I would call it that, but doesn't matter if it's right or left or anything. A totalitarian, authoritarian government or corporocracy is something that you don't want, trust me. I'm not telling you who to vote for, that's your choice. And I don't want to impose my political views too much on people. But I know that you definitely don't want that coming back, that's for sure. Life expectancy for chopper gunner in Vietnam was 2 weeks. So 2 weeks and then they're done? Because they've been destroyed already? Wow, 2 weeks is not a lot. I mean, don't planes have much longer lifespans? Please, I want to hit the frame at least. Let's see. Ah! No shiny. Yeah, 2 weeks is nothing, from what I understand of planes. Oh, they expected to die within 2 weeks? That's brutal. But then again, you know, war never changes. Fallout was right on that one. maybe war does change. It becomes more brutal as technology becomes more complex. I think jets might have been lower, but I'm not sure. I wonder how much money was used in these wars. I don't think I want to know. Already 23. 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. and been streaming for about 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours right now on the dot. And 1 shiny Magikarp. That's pretty unlucky. I was watching a war story about how tank commander watched his co-driver get decapitated by a tank rod. Oof, oh Jesus. That's CPD, or that's PTSD for sure. Jeez. Well, at least, I mean, that may sound a bit weird, but at least it was a quick death, and can't say the same for all victims of war, unfortunately. When I went to university, I was a soldier, an ex-soldier who actually had a confirmed kill in, I think it was Afghanistan, where he had to snipe a madman driving some kind of truck loaded with explosives, and he sniped them, which is holy crap. Imagine someone just saying that casually, but yeah. War isn't nice. Nice, I mean, yeah, headshot in real life, I guess, but still creepy. And, I mean, CPTSD or PTSD isn't easy to deal with. The younger co-tank driver was assigned to this crew, and the same group of tanks were under heavy enemy fire, and the second, younger co-tank driver was caught under the tank. Oh no. Thankfully this one lived and actually had a chat with an old friend. That one lived under a tank! And he lived! He lived to tell the tale? Highly unusual, at least the way I understand it. Jeez. The topics in these chats are always so funny, from war to languages to theoretical physics, anything. Tank commander was crying, begging to go save him, I could imagine. War is nice for oil, which is all that matters apparently. Yep, that's what it does. It's not only oil, just profits. War is profitable. I know that's just sick. And I can't believe that we're, as a apparently intelligent species, we're doing that still, but it's a sad reality. Not nice to the dead person, nice to the shower video time. I see. Maybe you were... Some people have dark humor and they would say nice to the headshot. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess. Say on the tank, I mean like under the gap to evade the gunfire. Ah, I see, okay. Not crushed by the tank, then you'd be pancake. A pancake can't survive. At least, I don't think that they sent Monkey D. Ruffy from One Piece there. That would be, don't think so. There would be one guy who would survive that, I guess, because he's basically rubber. Olive oil. Not that kind of oil, but olive oil is nice, yeah. My Italian side coming out again. Okay, this has to be it, please. Please? No? What's going on today? Right, we have more viewers now than before, so I'll ask the question again. What are your plans for this weekend? My humor is so dark an American cop would shoot. Yeah, I also use that joke. Dark humor is like food, not everyone has it, right? There was a tank that was sent into combat in Vietnam that could shoot 6 rockets. Okay, wow. And shoot 6 50 cal spotting rifles to aim these rockets. 50 calibers, that sounds like a lot. Then again, I'm not a weapon person, but... When the towns in Italy have battles over olive oil, probably, yeah. I do think there was a war like this in Italy once. Yeah, I do remember something like that. The M50 Ontos. M50 Ontos, never heard that. What's that look like? Oh, geez, wow, yeah. That looks decked out, definitely. The same tank could also shoot 60,000 steel darts at any given location. That's overkill. I think there was an olive oil war in Italy. Which, I mean, I know that in the Godfather, something like that was a plot point. I think that did happen. But it's been a long time ago then. The Italians had a Vespa filled with recoilless rifle. That's so Italian. They love their Vespas. You see them everywhere there. And they're very useful because Italian cities are very walkable. And they're still very old, so sometimes you got roads that aren't really that nice when you're in a car. But when you're on the Vespa, that's completely fine. When I say rifle, it was kind of like a bazooka. Wow. A Vespa with a bazooka. Now I have that image in my head and it's very funny. Tanks can easily be destroyed with a weak grenade in the right place. Don't know. I wouldn't be surprised because I do think that there has to be some kind of mechanical weak point to a tank. But I do know from the soldier that I know, or ex-soldier I guess, that they had weapons designed specifically just to destroy tanks. And that's all they did. I forgot the name. Shiny Rayquaza could tell you probably what that is, not me. But I do remember hearing about something like that. A weapon that's only designed to destroy tanks, and that's it. Tanks are useless these days because of top attack missile launchers. Okay, so... is that a reason why so many tanks failed from the Russian side now in the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war? Because that would explain something, that if they would use missile launch like top attack once, you could, you could easily destroy old, outdated tanks with that. If they can destroy modern tanks, then surely they would absolutely wipe the floor with old tanks. At least I would maybe think, who knows. I'm not the war artist here, but I'm always open to learn new things. And I like it when we have discussions about random topics. I'm always like that. Ask me like small talk, I can't really say anything interesting. But if we talk about a specific topic, then I can talk for hours and hours and hours, what I'm literally doing right now. While trying to get that dang shiny Feebas, which I still haven't gotten yet, which is very strange. Why hasn't that one turned up yet? Well, at least a shiny Carvanha at this point. Russian tanks are very strong, but because of the rounds, the M3 Bradley. Okay, don't know what that is, but the Ukrainian tanks basically blind the T90Ms. They blind them. Okay, so they're still functionally useless, is what you're trying to say, I guess. Also, the tank doesn't use big rounds, use sort of rapid fire barrage. Yeah, I can see why that would make sense, I guess. I would also assume that there are different kinds of tanks with different kinds of weapons on them, as in big rounds or rapid fire. Oh, excuse me. Jesus, still no shiny Feebas. What is wrong with me today? I mean, Magikarp's still nice, but this is Feebas Friday, not Magikarp Monday or anything like that. So no plans for the weekend then? For you guys? The rounds the Ukrainians are using basically explode with a large burst of sparks, and the armor piercing, I'm pretty sure. They're armor piercing as well then. I mean, I'm hoping for that war to stop as fast as possible, but too bad that person, to say it really bluntly or without... Should I be scared that they poison my tea? Nah, I'm kidding, but there's a man-child ruling Russia that doesn't want to stop, so... Literally can't use the sights for the T90 to aim at the barrel. Oh, so they don't see anything, so aiming becomes useless. Is what you're trying to say, I guess. That's a good strategy. Love nerding out about this stuff. I know how that feels. With me, it's another topic, but yeah. How strange. There's still no shiny Feebas. I suck today. The not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, I got so many shinies, and this week's performance, a bit lackluster. Well, hopefully I'll get it still before the stream finishes. Still got about 58 minutes left that I wanted to stream. Till I get the Feebas, or multiple Feebas. Was looking forward to getting multiple shiny Feebas, but I guess that's not happening. Tanks more like bad. Ha, got him. I don't think I understand it, but are you referring to tanks? Well, now they're useless. Ha, got him. White phosphorus bombs. Oof, Jesus. I know exactly what white phosphorus is. It's a very dangerous element. Our bombs that burst into flames when in contact with air. Yeah, you can just look at the amine and it will explode. It's highly reactive. Stick to anything, and if it sticks to a human, it burns to the bone and maybe more. Yeah. I do have chemical knowledge, and white phosphorus really is like that. Very easy to ignite, it just can explode by itself, just with contact with air. You have to drown it, per se, or deprive it of oxygen using special materials, and it's also very unsafe to touch, and when it explodes, you can guess that it scatters everywhere. Oh, excuse me, and making things worse. Yeah, Yeah, white phosphorus bombs are disgusting. Aren't they, don't they go against the Geneva Convention? Am I not mistaken there? Maybe you know this, Shiny Rayquaza, I don't, but I don't have the Geneva Convention rules in my head right now, but I do remember them because sadly Israel used these against Palestinians, which is disgusting because, like he said, these bombs are super dangerous element. Okay, that's a Feebas, but not shiny. Still not, dang. Pretty sure they do because it's basically napalm. Yeah, easy to use as a bomb, I mean, yeah. But disgusting nonetheless. Remember, kids only handle white phosphorus with parental guidance. I wouldn't handle, I'm the adult and I wouldn't even handle white phosphorus. I'd be way too scared of that. Yeah, just don't handle white phosphorus, just don't. Looking at it the wrong way, it will explode. You can handle red phosphorus, that's much easier and much less reactive. Fun fact, that's the red stuff if you've ever had a match to make fire. The red stuff on that, on the tip of the match, that is red phosphorus. Which is still phosphorus, the same element, but the way the atoms are held together is a bit different. And that also has a very specific word that or a nomiker, a term that I forgot now, which is unfortunate. Because white and red phosphorus, they aren't isotopes, they're something else. It's like with you can, when you have carbon atoms together, they can, the way they form together, like the structure the atoms have, makes the material different. Coal isn't exactly aligned in the same way as a diamond is, but a diamond is coal. It's carbon atoms, but the way they are positioned and connected is different. The structure, how it's built. Especially not without parental guidance. So you're not gonna have parents when you use that, so they're gonna be kaboom gone. The B2 Spirit, a stealth bomber that's super accurate. The test was conducted and it could almost pinpoint bomb a traffic cone. A traffic cone? While moving. Okay, that is very fascinating. And I remembered the word, it's an allotrope. That's what you call that in chemistry. When you have the same element, chemical element, but the structure is different. Like red phosphorus and white. White phosphorus is a allotrope of red phosphorus or vice versa. And diamond is one allotrope of carbon. Basically, diamonds aren't really that rare in the universe. Also on Earth, that's just the Beers. And yes, I'm calling you guys out. It's the Beers monopoly that they have. Basically, it's child slavery, exploited Africa, and marking up prices of diamonds, inflating them artificially and acting like they're super rare. Even though you could make a diamond in the lab, which they do. Because diamonds are also used in the industry to cut things, because of the diamonds are super hard on the Mohs scale of hardness. They're 10, that's the maximum of that on that scale. So it's very practical to use diamonds as a blade or to cut things. And a lab-grown diamond cannot be, I mean, chemically speaking, they are a diamond. There's not really a difference between a artificially created diamond and a naturally occurring diamond. And I don't like the diamond industry because it's full of child slavery and abuse and other worker violations. As if child slavery isn't already enough. But yeah, that's why I refuse to have a diamond on my wedding ring or my I didn't want a diamond ring as my like engagement ring. I had a moissonnite. That's more than enough. Also looks nice. It doesn't have to be a diamond. If I ever get a diamond, I hope it's lab grown. I don't want a real one. Not real. I mean, they're both real, but you know what I mean. A naturally occurring one, because that's usually there's blood on these hands. Children's blood, which I don't want. Don't even want any worker's blood, any person's blood on that, but this time it's children. It's extra evil. Yeah, I hit a traffic cone. That's amazing. Like a normal sized traffic cone. F35 uses the lab grown sapphire panels. Oh yeah, sapphires are corundum. Oh, that did not register. Do it again. Sapphires and ruby. Usually, I mean, sapphire and ruby are exactly the same gemstone. That fact surprised me, but they really are, chemically speaking. It's just different impurities that change the color of the gem. And when they're red or pink, hot pinkish, then it's a ruby. And when they're blue, it's a sapphire. And then there's orange sapphire as well that are called patparacha. But they're basically the same gemstone. Corundum, I think, is the chemical name of the structure. Also, fun fact about gems, I guess. For its laser system, I know it's called. I'm not smart, but yeah, I would. Sapphires are, and rubies, I think, are also used because of their how they reflect and refract light. I think it's usable in some industries. How much does it cost to make a diamond in a lab? It depends on the size, but it's far beyond the other, like the normal standard overinflated diamond price. But I'll check. I've never bought a diamond, be it lab grown or. Okay, so when I Google it, I'll find a 1 carat lab grown diamond costs about $1,200. And a natural diamond would cost, with the same size, would cost $4,200. But I've seen very small lab-grown diamonds being sold for under 100 euros, like 50 or something. Yeah, a lot cheaper than finding one. Good luck finding one. But yeah, diamonds aren't really that rare. Also in the universe. Gold is rarer than diamonds. Gold is actually rare in the universe because gold is an atom that can only get produced during events like supernovae. So a big star, a star bigger than our sun, heavier than a sun that explodes. And where the rest of the star, once a star is done, for either a neutron star or a black hole remains, so these kinds of stars. In these explosions, protons from the stars, because stars are made out of hydrogen, which is basically one proton, they get smashed together, and it can cause a chain reaction where the exact amount of protons needed to form gold or other rare metals. That's where gold comes from big star explosions. And that's why gold is actually very rare in the universe, not just on Earth. It's very rare in universe as well. It's way better than a classroom. Oh, thank you, I like reading that. But yeah, gold is rare, diamonds aren't. In fact, when our sun will not stay the same forever. That's just not a thing that is a thing in astronomy, let's say it like that. our sun still has about 4.5 billion years to go. And afterwards it will turn into a red giant. Maybe consuming the Earth, maybe not. But that will be the least of our worries. We should go off the planet earlier than that. Because the sun will become hotter later in its life. Or the illumination power will grow, so we'd get grilled before the sun dies. But once that's done, a white dwarf, something known as a white dwarf, will remain. That's usually the carbon core of the star, of our sun. And guess what that is? It's highly pressurized and it's carbon. So yeah, you have huge freaking diamonds in like millions, trillions of them, and that's not an exaggeration. There are literally trillions of that sun-like stars out there that are basically Earth-sized diamonds. So imagine that. Unfortunately, you couldn't really mine them because the gravity of thing with white dwarfs is they have the same amount of mass that the star had when back when it was a normal star, and you know what that means? It has it has the size of Earth. It has the size of Earth and the mass of the sun. So you can't even land on that. You couldn't mine it. You'd be pancake. You'd be a pancake. You'd be pressed flat like a flatlander. Because of the intense gravity. So unfortunately you need to somehow break it up, which I wouldn't even know how because it's so dense. That's just what happens when stars die, they become really dense. If it's a bigger star, then you have the mass of a star concentrated in the size of New York, then you get something like a neutron star, which are called that because gravity is like they are squished so much that protons in atoms can't even survive. It's only neutrons that stay stable in that environment. That's why they're called neutron stars. So now I dropped some random astronomy knowledge. If reincarnation does exist, what happens after that? I mean, if it is real, which you're free to believe so, I don't think so, but if it is real, then you'll become something else. Maybe I don't know, I always ask myself the question, do they believe that you become something else on Earth? Or do you suddenly get reborn as an alien somewhere in the universe? That would make more sense than staying on Earth. Doesn't mass equal a gravitational pull? Yeah, generally. I hate Newton. Why did he have to invent gravity? No, he can't mine white dwarfs. Yeah, that was not such a good idea now, was it? Like, remember in the good old times where you could just jump and fly? That was it. Even us humans have a gravitational pull. Yeah, you do. Very faint, but everything that has mass has a gravitational pull. It's just that the gravitational pull of our planet is just so much larger than all the objects that are on it, so you don't notice that. Would have been ahead in the capitalism game. I mean, that would crash the economy. Your currency would not be worth anything because that would be so much diamond that you'd have to redefine what currency is. Like, what that would be worth. Because that would be quadrillions, if not more, worth of diamonds. If you could mine them, which you can't still. I mean, waiting until the sun's dead, that is completely useless. I mean, I don't have to explain that, right? But the next white dwarf, you need to go light years, you know? We can't even approach the speed of light closely, not even 90% margin. That's not possible. So you'd need to have... Yeah, manned missions wouldn't be possible. and you'd need to send a probe, a drone, and that would still be useless because that drone gets pancaked, smushed. You wouldn't have a drone anymore. Now the drone is part of the surface of the white dwarf, so that would be a waste of money. Star Wars force powers just amplified your gravitational pull in a certain direction. 1 currency, 1 diamond. Which slowly introduced our totally non-intergalactic diamonds. I mean, I've seen white dwarfs through the telescope before, right? If you go and look for the Sirius star, which is Alpha Canis Majoris, which unfortunately now, if you're on the northern hemisphere, you don't really get to see it much because winter is going and spring is coming now, so you're not gonna see it that much, the large dark constellation. But what people don't know is in the Sirius system, it's not just one star. There's one A-type star, which is Sirius, Alpha Canis Majoris, but there's also a another star, as in a dead star, a white dwarf that also has an orbit around Sirius, the star. And I've seen them through the telescope. I've seen the white dwarf. It's really hard to spot because the star is big, the Sirius is a rather big star, and A-type stars are usually really freaking bright, so you need to adjust it with filters and all that, but it's definitely doable if you have a telescope and you know what you're doing. But yeah, I've seen one with my own eyes. Sound doesn't have mass, right? No. Sound isn't a thing in that regard. It's a manipulation of a medium. It's a wave that travels through a medium. Just like... Okay, light is something, actually. Like, that's just air pressure. Sound is air pressure, and... I guess you could say air has mass, yeah. Very, very, very little mass, but... Sound would be... I mean, sound in my, like... In the physical interpretation isn't really a thing. It's more like a wave that goes through a thing that has mass, like water or air or metal. Sound actually travels much faster through metal than it does through air. It's also a fun fact. So many fun facts here in this stream. Interesting. Couldn't we? No, you can't. Unfortunately, it is impossible to approach the speed of light because the photons, so light particles, precisely have the speed of light because they have zero mass. And if you look at the equations that Einstein provided, you'd need to put infinite energy into something with mass, even if it's like really small mass. You'd need infinite energy to accelerate it to light speed, and how do you do that? It's not possible. There's no infinite energy. That's just not real. We have a 1099 decibel cap on that and to use vibration. Yeah, but that's because sound or decibel is a logarithmic scale. That's why. So when you have 20 decibels and 10 decibels, 20 decibels is not twice as loud because it's not linear, it's logarithmic. Hope that makes sense. That's why there's a decibel cap. If you would be louder than that, then you'd have so much freaking energy at that point. I think it's like something to the 10 to the power of 90 watts in a... I mean, that would make a black hole. A energy black hole, because that can also happen. If you have too much energy in a small space, then that space-time can collapse into a black hole. And that would be a black hole that would destroy the universe, because that's a lot of freaking energy that you have to put in, which isn't possible, so don't worry, no alien will try this and then accidentally doom the whole universe. It's not possible. At least, yeah, no, I don't think so. Sound, yeah, space. You remember the slogan from the Aliens movie? In space, no one can hear you scream. Yeah, in space, there's no sound. Except maybe in some regions where there's within nebulae where there's some gases, then yeah, maybe there would be a bit of sound. But usually, yeah, all these space battles that you see where it goes pew pew pew, 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 no, you wouldn't hear a thing. You would hear nothing. It would all be silent. So yeah, no one will hear you scream in space unless you're in a space colony or something. But then again, when you scream and you're so isolated, that in and of itself is horror. Have you heard about Vermin Supreme? He's the best American politician. I have heard about him. Is that the guy who... I mean, didn't he rename himself Vermin Supreme just to troll people? Is it the same guy who was a mayor who got caught using cocaine and then he just nonchalantly said, yeah, I like it? Is that the same guy, or am I mixing up two politicians? Send a video in Discord, I'll check that out then later. So if light somehow theoretically got faster than itself would rupture space-time? No, not really, but the thing is, light is always moving at a constant speed precisely because it has zero mass. That's the way the physical, like the laws of physics work. If you have zero mass, then you automatically tend to be at the speed of light. Probably not, I don't know though. I'll check that later, maybe I'm mixing up something. But I do remember reading the name Vermin Supreme because that is such a unique name. You're never gonna forget about a name like this. Don't know what his policies are though, so... Please, shiny now. Please, no. Still no shiny Feebas, that can't be. So light has speed but zero momentum. No, it does have momentum. It just has no mass. And the momentum is constant. It never really changes unless it touches something that has mass. And then you see it because that's how light works. Because it reflects and then it bounces into your retina and your brain decodes that. And your consciousness perceives something. Well, yeah, light is actually very strange in a physical, astronomical setting. Yeah, oversimplified, yeah. From the perspective of a photon does not experience time if you really want to be nerdy. But, yeah, that goes into very theoretical stuff. But yeah, photons are weird. Not every particle, not every particle is... Usually particles have mass. And no, not only photons have zero mass, there's also other things that have zero mass. And they don't have mass, but they have energy, which are... Remember that E equals mc squared is exactly that. Energy and mass can be interchanged, or are interchangeable. And that also means that theoretically anything with zero mass cannot be motionless. I know it's hard to wrap your head around, it is weird, but theoretically lost momentum, it doesn't. It can't, because it doesn't have, it's not possible. I know it's weird, but it can't lose momentum. It's forced to have it by the laws of physics. You guys have me interested in this stuff now. Wow. Yeah, and now I did something that any physics teacher wasn't able to do. That's good. Particle physics is also super interesting. You got some very strange stuff going on in there, especially quantum physics. That's a you look at the math and you go like, well, yeah, makes sense, okay, but then you interpret it what that means, and then you get things like that particle spins half. Okay, what in the world does half spin mean? Can't really imagine that, but apparently that's just how things work in the quantum space. Also, the way an electron exists, it doesn't exist like the microphone that's in front of me right now. It exists a bit there and then a bit over there in a cloud of possibilities. That's how electrons exist, and that's just really hard to imagine because it's not like anything that we know. The really small space of reality is really weird. Physics get very strange. Or at least, I mean, they make sense mathematically, but if you were to picture that, it's the same thing that I said in another stream of mine with we are three-dimensional beings, and theoretically there is a four-dimensional aspect of mine, but I am unable to see that because I can only see and experience a 3D slice of that 4D existence. I'm out there thinking if we could use light to damage stuff. Yeah, of course. UV damage is exactly that. That's why you have to use sunscreen, because they might not have mass, but they have energy. And you get bombarded with that energy. That's how you get a sunburn. Or like X-rays or more extreme rays. That's very dangerous. Light can hurt you, yeah. Just because it doesn't have mass doesn't mean that it can't hurt. Nothing but chemical reactions. The right chemical reaction will kill you, so I wouldn't say or just a chemical reaction, but yeah, these can be really deadly and horrible. Just ignore the laws of physics. Yeah, yeah, I did that, and then I suddenly started hovering because I stopped believing in gravity, and now I can fly. Completely real story. The physics police supposed to do? Catch me? I'm going fast in light, so good luck, law-abiding physics officers. When you get the human name gets a ticket, then, but officer, you don't understand. Speed is relative. Cancer ray, yeah, the sun is technically, in a way, a cancer ray. Lasers are boring. Yeah, lasers are also that highly energized photons. Could take a lifetime, who knows? We're also doing a lot of progress with that. It's the fastest thing you could shoot, right? There's nothing faster than something that has no mass. But yeah, lasers are also light. Light can be really dangerous, right? A heat gun. Yeah, that exists as well. If you, I mean, microwaves also do that, right? Microwaves are so that these photons, these light particles that hit your food, have a very specific frequency where it happens to be the exact frequency that makes water molecules move faster. And molecules moving, or atoms moving, is what we call heat. That's what heat is. Nothing more. That's That's what they mean when they say kinetic energy of particles. Kinetic comes from like going to a cinema. Why is it that? Because it's moving pictures, it moves. And moving atoms is kinetic energy, that's heat. Enough light equals heat. Yeah, exactly. You know this stuff, why am I figuring out its uses? Hey, you're reverse engineering how it works now. Maybe you've gotten a better understanding of this, so wasn't for nothing, right? Gamma ray burst. Oh yeah, that actually happened before the mass extinction. Extinction happened with the dinosaurs, where the Chicxulub comet hit the Earth. There was a mass dying because it just happened that a dying star's gamma ray burst from supernova just hit the Earth directly. Was directly in the path. Usually the odds of that are super low, because space is freaking huge, right? But that just happened to be, and what happened? Anything that wasn't 5 meters under the water got fried, basically. So I think it was 95% of life on Earth died. What's the name of the extinction again? Gamma ray burst. At least it's believed by scientists to be a gamma ray burst. And because geological evidence in rocks and all that from that time also show us the same evidence that this might have happened. What if I just make a weapon that makes air make an almost enough friction to burn people? Yeah, but to be fair, you need to isolate a patch of air in front of you, or else you heat up your weapon, like one atom in front of you, and then that would just mean your weapon gets destroyed. So that is also a problem. You need to do that, and that would be super not dangerous, obviously, but don't think we have the technology to do that yet. At least not that I know of. And I try to always read new studies that come out to make sure that I'm on the same page with science. Dihydrogen monoxide. Did you know that everyone who drank that died? It's true. Why can't I be a smart supervillain? With your own cave and all that? And your lab? Wanna be Dr. Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, and have like killer machine things? Just for fun? Alright, I've made my super weapon. And that's a Feebas, but still not shiny. What is wrong with me today? But yeah, for those of you who don't know, dihydrogen monoxide is water. Steel plate fireproof gloves. And just hit people. Oof. Yeah, but that get hot and then you'd burn yourself, no? With flaming fists. I mean, it's a cool idea, but last time I checked, human hands weren't made to withstand such temperatures. But it's a cool idea, though. And in Pokemon, there's Fire Punch, so... But yeah, you could make... Theoretically speaking, you could make a giant space laser and just destroy a certain part on Earth. But that would need enormous amounts of energy, and you need to store that energy somewhere, and then your satellite needs to have access to said energy, and there's like so many other things that you need to take care of and keep track of, and that's why so many of these supervillain weapons are actually much more too expensive and too gimmicky, not efficient enough. Yeah. Dihydrogen monoxide is leading cause of drowning, yeah. And also everyone who drank dihydrogen monoxide, 100% of psychopaths have drank it, so what do you mean? There has to be a link, right? Super fast and explosive gun. Want to design an anti-material rifle that would pierce most materials very deep. Railguns are dumb and scientific. Yeah, railguns are a thing, aren't they? I mean, I would understand how they work physically, but other than that, yeah, that's about my knowledge on these things. As it makes me I remember the my brain very good today. I very English today, as you noticed. Just remind me of that silly plot point in Super Monkey Ball 2 where a mad scientist creates a laser that he shoots on Earth, and it changes the taste of bananas so that they taste like curry, which is ridiculous but very funny. Jesus, white phosphorus, it's just has to be against the Geneva Convention, right? Have to check that. Ah, okay, so it's not banned, but very tightly regulated, which doesn't make it better, to be fair, but, jeez. I would stay away from white phosphorus as much as possible. I'd be actually scared if I knew it was in the building that I would be in, 'cause that thing just explodes when you look at it the wrong way. It's super reactive. It is against the Geneva Convention? Oh, it is, okay. I mean, again, I don't know the exact wording or things in the Geneva Convention. Geneva Convention only applies to war. Yeah, that's the point of it. Hey there, Arch. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? The end, but still. Bye. Alright. Stop by to say hi and bye. I mean, only got a couple minutes left anyway. Hopefully I get a shiny Feebas soon. Jesus. So unlucky. Only one shiny Magikarp. So, let's see what the last reset will bring me. It's not this one, I think the one after that. Okay. Let's see. That's a normal Feebas. God damn it. I think shiny Feebas got scared of my ability. Maybe. Or you've bombed it, didn't you? Well, it is timid, so the fishy doesn't want to show its face. Was rudely disturbed by random names. Smart brain. I don't go to conventions. I couldn't travel to the Geneva for convention. Yeah, it's kind of a different kind of convention. Not the fun kind. Definitely not. Jeez, I do really hope that the last one at least gives me a shiny Feebas. If not, then it was a got trolled really good. One Magikarp then, but You know what that means. That means that next Friday there's gonna be a stream again, so maybe not so bad after all. But yeah, not tomorrow, not Sunday, but the weekend after that I'm gonna be back again for the weekend streams. And it's gonna be Safari Saturday and Safari Sunday. So let's see where that goes. Now my Brian did his thing. Your brain, a brain named Brian. Unlucky. Sometimes you look for something and you don't even get it. Oh well. Glove fitted with claws capable of delivering white phosphorus into the throat, so if they breathe, they combust. Calm down, Satan. Wow. that is real super villain type of stuff. Yeah, your brain is called Brian now? Okay. I know there's a, do you know the GameCube game Cell Damage? Because, that game has a brain character who's called Brian, I think. If you leave me, I'm extremely tired. Yeah, it's, I'm also getting tired. This is gonna be my last, reset, and then I'm also going to bed. So, should I not be able to say goodnight later, then I'll goodnight, human name. And see you next time then. Maybe the veins of their blood. Oh jeez, that is evil. Just shoot them at this point, no? Why go through this cruelty? I mean, I don't think the problem would be that the blood can't oxygenate. I think that their veins would explode. I think that would happen first. If you want to do that, you'd need to use cyanide. Because that is actually something that blocks the red blood cells. Like, it places itself on the red blood cells. And then the red blood cells think that they got oxygen on them, but they actually don't. So that's how you die when you inhale or get cyanide in your system. Because the oxygen in your body becomes... You can't use it anymore, and your cells die because of lack of oxygen. Parting one cell veins that goes back to their heart if they live, and then they explode from the heart out. Oh jeez. Wow. That is something else. Definitely. Who hurt you? Who do you want to use that on? The Geneva Convention exists because of America and me. Yeah. I mean, that is quite something. But it wouldn't work, or because it would explode before you would even do that. Because before it would even reach the heart. Alright. 20 seconds to go. I mean, obviously, if this is going to be the Feebas, I'm gonna catch it. But if not, then you know the drill. Alright, let's see if I still got lucky or not. And unfortunately, no shiny Feebas for today. That's unfortunate. But you know what that means. That means another edition of this stream next Friday, so you can get excited for that. And yeah, I'm also tired. I'm going to bed now. So then torch him with a flamethrower, jeez. I wouldn't even need that. White phosphorus does its thing already. Oh well, no shiny, but then see you. The next stream's gonna be on Wednesday. That's gonna be Wild Wednesday, and then again on Friday for the exact same format that I did today. So thank you always for being part of the stream, and see you next time. And enjoy your weekend, everyone. Good night.